Western Avenue. Police tell us this morning citations are pending. Chicago Police Union is demanding a special prosecutor replace Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx in any case involving police officers. In a letter to Foxx this week, leaders of the FOP say there is a deep mistrust existing between the union and the state's attorney's office, which the FOP notes special prosecutors have been appointed to replace Foxx in two recent cases. A kindergarten teacher at a private religious school in Burbank is accused of sexually assaulting an underage student and soliciting child pornography from another. Shannon Griffin faces a number of charges, including criminal sexual assault. She was arrested Monday after an investigation found she had sexual contact with a student at Jordan Baptist School, where she works. Investigators tell us that she sent nude photographs and videos of herself to that student and another and requested nude images from both. Surprise announcement from Kane County State's Attorney Joe McMahon. He's not running for re-election in 2020. He offered no explanation yesterday after announcing he was not seeking a third term. McMahon gained national attention last year while serving as a special prosecutor in the Laquan McDonald case. He was successful in securing a second-degree murder conviction against former Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke, accused of shooting McDonald in 2014. Authorities are searching for a suspected serial bank robber who held up a bank inside Chicago Board of Trade building in the Loop. Police say the man took an unspecified amount of money from a Burling Bank branch on West Jackson Boulevard. The same man is wanted in connection with two bank robberies in Chicago last week. A reward of up to $1,000 is being offered in that case. A body pulled from the North Branch of the Chicago River is being identified as a man who went missing last week. Esteban Uriostig was discovered in the water yesterday morning in the 1500 block of West Webster, where the 22-year-old was last seen, was a Jewel-Osco last Friday at Clybourne and Fullerton, just a few blocks away from where his body was found in the river. Mayor Lori Lightfoot says she is outraged after the Bean in Chicago's Millennium Park was vandalized. Lightfoot saying it's unacceptable for people to deface something so iconic.
And I'm going to follow what happens with the prosecution of these individuals very closely. We have to send a clear message. Enough is enough.
Charges are pending against 7 who were arrested early yesterday after graffiti was spray painted on the sculpture. The graffiti has since been removed. A power outage to blame for halting service for a time on the Metra Electric and South Shore lines. Metra service was stalled yesterday afternoon after an outage halted trains heading into and out of Millennium Station. Power was restored about 2 hours later. Trains were still running on delays last night. A suburban Chicago man wanted in a crash that killed 2 women was apprehended on board a charter bus. Authorities say that bus was traveling to Texas and eventually Guatemala. Victor Ortiz of Round Lake Beach is facing aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol and reckless homicide charges stemming from a June 8 crash. Chicago police removed Ortiz from a bus traveling on I-57 after receiving information he was on board. A Chicago man this morning is accused of stealing vehicles of motorists who stopped to help him after he was involved in crashes. Calvin Taylor is charged with armed violence, hijacking, possession of a stolen vehicle, and unlawful use of a weapons charge. Authorities tell us this morning that 26-year-old Taylor on Saturday used a gun to swipe a minivan from a motorist at a gas station. Taylor crashed that vehicle, and when a man from Sandwich stopped to help, Taylor jumped into the Good Samaritan Chevrolet and drove off. Minutes later, police responded to another rollover crash on I-88 involving the stolen Chevrolet. There, police learned the alleged thief had stolen a Dodge Avenger from an 18-year-old Sycamore woman who stopped to help. Taylor, in the last crash, suffered a broken leg. He's being held in the Kane County Jail in lieu of $500,000 bond. It's 5:08 on AM 560, The Answer. U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow believes the plan by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to stop the Asian carp at the Brandon Road Lock and Dam in Joliet will work. And she says funding for the first phase of that barrier will be part of next year's federal budget.
The Army Corps of Engineers is working closely with us. They understand our sense of urgency, and we're trying to move this along as fast as possible.
Stabenow and most of Michigan's congressional delegation toured that facility in Joliet this week. U.S. officials say Customs and Border Patrol agents thwarted a man's attempt at O'Hare this week to import several pounds of African rat meat. Customs spokesman Steve Bansbach says the man declared 32 pounds of that meat on June 26 when his flight arrived from the Ivory Coast. The meat was confiscated and destroyed. However, the man did not face a fine and continued on with his journey because he was forthcoming about what he was bringing into the country. Customs officials prohibit the entry of African meats to prevent the spread of African swine fever. The mayor of Route 66 is resigning from the top job in Pontiac. Mayor Bob Russell says he'll leave his position at the end of the month. Russell says he's been blessed to work with a dedicated team for more than 10 years. He's been a Pontiac resident for more than 30 years, 17 years as alderman, elected mayor in 2009. Adam Frazier belts a 3-run home run in the Pirates' 5-1 win over the Cubs in Pittsburgh. Sox and Tigers rained out last night at Guaranteed Rate Field. It will be made up as a doubleheader in September. Busy offseason continues for the Bulls, agreeing to terms with guard Ryan Arcidiacono on a 3-year, $9 million deal. CONCACAF Gold Cup Soccer, Mexico nips Haiti with a goal in extra time. Tonight, the U.S. faces off against Jamaica. The news is a service of Ace, the helpful place. It's the Ace 4th of July sale. Buy one, get one half off gallons of top paint like Valspar, Clark & Kensington, and Magnolia Home Paint with the Extra Mile promise. Get what you need to paint in one trip or delivery is free. Visit acehardware.com for details through July 8th at participating stores. Limit to 5:10 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder says Joe Biden is getting a pass.
But I know where his heart is. Joe doesn't feel that way at all.
Hey, I know where his heart is, says Clyburn. And Sharpton says, hey, people sometimes say things that don't really reflect what they are,
He may say things that doesn't reflect what he really means. Well, right. But he must prove that to people.
With zero tolerance for Trump.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
The co-chairman of J.P. Morgan warned that a deep correction, like 40%, could hit the stock market at any time. Don't lose 40%. Diversify. Now you can add gold or silver to your IRA or 401k rollover accounts. The stock market has been shaky with the trade negotiations. Don't risk your investments. Listen to the warnings and diversify before you lose 40%. Protect your portfolio with solid, intangible investments, gold and silver. Call 800-387-1800 now, and all qualified investors get a free 2020 Trump Freedom Coin and a 10-ounce silver bar with your account. Call 800-387-1800 to be connected now and get a free 2020 Trump Freedom Coin and a 10-ounce silver bar when you open a qualified account. Or go to noblegoldinvestments.com. Individual results may vary. Invest wisely. Open your qualified account today to get your free 2020 Trump Freedom Coin and a 10-ounce silver bar. Don't wait for a 40% deep correction. Call 800-387-1800. That's 800-387-1800.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and I've got a quick, cost-effective way to protect and grow the value of your home this summer. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters for interior and exterior painting. They painted the first floor of my home last year, and every time someone walks in, they always say, gosh, your house looks so much bigger. That's because one of their color specialists helped me pick out the perfect color. So boost your curb appeal this summer with a fresh coat of paint while protecting it from the heat, storms, and insects. Be proud to show off your house to your friends and neighbors. Their summer calendar has a few spots available, so secure yours now. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Get your truly free credit scores and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma today. Download the Credit Karma app now. Credit Karma. Here's to progress.
5:13. Let's get a check on the roads. Hopefully no cars acting as boats this morning on the Stevenson in the AM 560 traffic center. Here's Jim.
Metra still has residual delays on the Milwaukee West line after freight train interference issues were affecting the line late last night. On the expressways, lots of overnight work is in the process of clearing. And there's a crash on the Aidens half out at Wilson. The left lane is blocked there. Traffic is still light. Car crashed right into barrels there in the work zone. Kennedy inbound exits Cumberland, Adams, and Jackson are closed, as well as the exit to the outbound Eisenhower. These all should be reopened shortly. Outbound, there's heavy traffic coming out of downtown from the Circle to Monroe. Just a brief slowdown there. There's a stall at Randolph in the left lane. Inbound Orion traffic a little heavy, Roosevelt to the Circle. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Some breaks of sun, shower and thunderstorm today, high 87. A shower and thunderstorm this evening, low tonight 72. Partly sunny tomorrow, shower and thunderstorm. Those storms could be slow moving, bring some heavy rain, high 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Temperatures drop to 73. We have clouds at most reporting stations, Midway, Aurora, DuPage Airport, Northerly Island this morning, where it is 69. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with Stephen Leahy. Every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and action reaction. Nike pulls the Betsy Ross sneakers, and Doug Ducey, the governor of Arizona, pulls the economic incentives for Nike to locate a facility in Goodyear, Arizona. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. What do you think of Governor Ducey, Republican, his decision to nix the goodies that Nike was to avail itself of if they located, or for locating their plant in Goodyear, Arizona? Tweet storm from Governor Ducey, who, by the way, a quick aside, just reelected last year. Walk away. Blowout win for Doug Ducey. Really interesting. 40% of the Latino vote Doug Ducey, Republican governor of Arizona, got in the same election cycle where, of course, Martha McSally lost that Senate seat to that sex pot there, Kristen Sinema. So interesting, popular governor. And it's nice to see a popular conservative leveraging his popularity to make a point, since so much of politics is making a point, particularly these days. Today was supposed to be a good day in Arizona with the announcement of a major Nike investment in Goodyear, Arizona, tweeted Ducey, and he persisted. And then this news broke. He's, of course, referring to Nike nixing the Betsy Ross flag sneakers after Colin Kaepernick. The cop-hating, Castro-loving Colin Kaepernick weighed in and said, oh, no. The flag with the 13 stars, that's harkens back to the days of slavery. That's a symbol of oppression. Can't have that on a sneaker. And Phil Knight and Nike, for some reason, conceded the point. Doug Ducey continues, words cannot express my disappointment at this terrible decision. I'm embarrassed for Nike. Nike is an iconic American brand and American company. This country, our system of government, and free enterprise have allowed them to prosper and flourish. Instead of celebrating American history the week of our nation's independence, Nike has apparently decided that Betsy Ross is unworthy and has bowed to the current onslaught of political correctness and historical revisionism. A lot of tweeting by Doug Ducey. It's Trump-like. He keeps going. It's a shameful retreat for the company. American businesses should be proud of our country's history, not abandoning it. Nike has made its decision, and now we're making ours. I've ordered the Arizona Commerce Authority to withdraw all financial incentive dollars under their discretion that the state was providing the company to locate here. Arizona's economy is doing just fine without Nike. We don't need to suck up to companies that consciously denigrate our nation's history. And finally, it shouldn't take a controversy over a shoe for our kids to know who Betsy Ross is, a founding mother. Her story should be taught in all American schools. In the meantime, it's worth Googling her. Or perhaps he should have said DuckDuckGoing her. But you take the point. What do you think about Doug Ducey's decision? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Bob and Waukegan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I think Doug Ducey is the smartest guy in America today. You know, Kaepernick is only where he's at because he's dating some racist African American woman who hates America. So she's influenced him since he's got no place to go to throw a football anymore. I mean, I call him Colin Crappernick, not Colin Kaepernick, but that's just mine.
Okay.
Take on it.
Thanks, Bob.
Michael Jordan is the smartest businessman in America. When the left tried to pressure him earlier in his career to sell tennis shoes only to the politically correct, he looked at him and said, you know, conservatives buy tennis shoes too. And that was the end of the discussion. He didn't say, you know, you're really stupid to take this position, but he said it all in just one sentence.
Yeah, that's a good point, Bob. Thanks for the call. You know what? It's funny MJ is referenced because I was thinking about MJ in this controversy, and I know he is loath to wade into political discussions, and I respect that. You don't have to, intervene in every discussion. If you don't want to talk about politics, that's not your bag, as it clearly isn't MJ's, then fine. But it would be interesting to get his take on Nike's decision per Colin Kaepernick. What if Michael Jordan had said, I'm overruling Colin Kaepernick? What would Nike have done then? Craig in Mount Greenwood, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan. This Doug Ducey, he is a good guy, man. He finally, because conservatives usually just roll over, they let all this stuff go, and he took a stand there, a good stand. And it shows how these big even like really big companies like Nike can have some people at the helm that are so stupid to do this kind of thing. I mean, telling everybody, hey, don't even go near those Nike shoes and everything. But what he did with basically, saying, hey, we don't need you here and everything like that, sends a great message. And everybody should take note of it and everything like that. Stop letting these people roll all over us with all their baloney, like that Kaepernick and everything like that, like sticking his nose into it. And it was great news with that guy.
Thanks for the call, Craig. Yeah, it's nice to see somebody send a message that conservatives can inflict punishment on corporate America, too.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive Little Blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/Chris. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/Chris. That's 4hims.com/Chris.
If you only go to one festival this summer, this is the one you and your family can't miss. Make plans to be at one of Chicagoland's favorite festivals, Eyes to the Skies, July 4th through the 6th at Lyle Community Park. The Eyes to the Skies Festival has been entertaining folks for over 30 years with morning and evening balloon launches, balloon glows, nightly fireworks, and live music on 2 stages. Plus, there's a carnival with rides, craft fair, a huge kids area, and over 50 unique food vendors. Ever wondered what riding in a hot air balloon balloon feels like but are a bit nervous? Try a tethered balloon ride and take some stunning pictures from this incredible view. Make plans now for the Eyes to the Skies Festival at Lyle Community Park, July 4th through the 6th. Admission is just $10 with kids under 8 free. See eyes-to-the-skies.org for free parking and shuttle service locations, complete balloon launch schedule, and all the info you'll need for an awesome weekend. The Eyes to the Skies Festival at Lyle Community Park, July 4th through the 6th. Don't miss it.
Individual results may vary. Exclusions apply.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just call 1-800-500-0251. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, call 1-800-500-0251. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's 1-800-500-0251.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I think it's wonderful, really. I've been taking it now about a little over 2 years, and it has been amazing. You know, it not only has a lot of physical benefits, it also, I think, helps emotionally and mentally. One of the big things was my husband had cancer and he was terminal, and it just got me through the whole thing. And I really think it gave me the stamina to get through it, and, you know, I slept at night, and I don't think I would have been that good without it. Let's put it that way.
From now until July 4th, receive a 30% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Also receive an extra $10 off any additional set of fruits and veggies you purchase. This offer will expire, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Sheet metal is a big part of commercial and industrial facilities. Look around your business and you'll quickly notice how many components use sheet metal. From fan systems and hoods to machinery guards and much more. For top quality sheet metal work, get to know the pros at Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial sheet metal contractor that can fabricate all types of alloys up to 1-inch plate. We perform jobs including chutes, hoppers, stacks, siding, and dust collection. We work in material handling facilities including steel, chemical, agricultural, food processing plants, and more. Vans Industrial can also design and perform the engineering for a complete turnkey installation. Our quality work is installed by trained mechanics who will work closely with you to make sure the job is done right.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy are talking about Doug Ducey's decision to pull the incentives for Nike to locate a plant in Goodyear, Arizona. I guess I'll have to keep them in Southeast Asia. Jim in Sheboygan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
So Phil Knight, the owner of Nike, is a huge Oregon University of Oregon Duck alumni.
Yeah.
And his headquarters are south of Portland, Oregon. Mm-hmm. And so back in the 90s, he got brought on the carpet for having all of his manufacturing of the tennis shoes overseas, and all of the factories were seen as having child labor, and he got into big trouble. And so with the university was going to, kick him out and do all sorts of things to him because, of all of his bad child labor practices and things. Anyway, he bent over to the left. He then became the largest donor in the university system by building hundreds of millions of dollars worth of buildings for the University of Oregon. But ever since the 90s and his past with overseas manufacturing of shoes, he's been courting the left in order to not be attacked.
Yeah,
and
Kathy Lee
it's
Gifford
interesting
joint
to see where
venture.
he's at.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday too. I mean, I know he's a huge Oregon alum, but he really got to start thanks to Joe Paterno. Joe Paterno in Penn State was his first big order that took him out from selling shoes out of his trunk to really having a going concern and then building it out from there. Did Jim drop?
Jim.
I wanted.
But I mean, what's the end game here? I mean, why? I kept racking my brain. Why would he listen to Colin Kaepernick? But since Colin Kaepernick joined Nike, sales have gone up and their stock prices have gone up.
Right. Wet sidewalks don't cause rain.
Yeah.
So you have to provide a causal link for me there. The Nike makes all kinds of corporate decisions on a rolling basis that affect their bottom line. Colin Kaepernick is one aspect of it. If he was so dominant,
but for
they would have that. They would have
right.
that ad campaign. But sometimes to believe in something, you have to give up everything. Blah blah blah. That would still be rolling the way they roll out all the MJ product lines, and that's not
we
happening.
must live in two different worlds because I look at the Betsy Ross flag and I don't think slavery. I just that would be the last thing I would think of when I saw that flag.
Well, right, and that was Doug Ducey's point. And
he's a Republican governor too,
Wall
of
Street,
Arizona.
Right, Wall Street Journal opining on the topic too. It's worth remembering that harebrained controversies like this give many Americans the not unreasonable sense that their country is being maligned by pampered social justice warriors. Donald Trump has reaped enormous political benefits from the ill-judged fashion among NFL players to kneel during the national anthem. Yep. If the president wins re-election, perhaps he should write a thank you note to Colin Kaepernick and Nike.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, we'll stick on this topic, but we'll move over to women's soccer now that they're playing final, perhaps against your
Sweden,
your alma mater, as it were, Sweden.
And who wants a sport to tie?
Megan Rapinoe's girlfriend. So the president effing hates my girlfriend. You certainly won't want to miss this dramatic reading at 5:38.
That dainty flower. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
74 degrees at 5:31, cloudy skies, and a chance of powerful storms again today. Federal officials are sending out a warning about poor conditions in some migrant detention centers along the border with Mexico. The DHS Inspector General saying immediate action is needed in some Rio Grande Valley facilities. President Trump disappointed with the decision to go forward with the 2020 census without a citizenship question on it. The president calling it a sad time for America. The Supreme Court dealt a small blow to the administration's effort last week when it knocked the case back to a lower court to sort out the question and how it came about. Federal judge blocking Attorney General Bill Barr's decision that asylum seekers can be held indefinitely. The Seattle judge saying that it was unconstitutional in her ruling to deny asylum seekers a bond hearing while they wait for their claims to be heard. The White House not answering questions about why Vice President Mike Pence abruptly canceled a scheduled speech in New Hampshire yesterday. White House officials say there was no cause for alarm and stressed there was no issue with the president's health or national security. A giant among the giants in the auto industry has died. Lee Iacocca is gone at the age of 94. He helped Ford introduce the first Mustang, and there is a new movie coming out where Iacocca is featured, and that's going to be fun too. But you know Iacocca as the man who saved Chrysler from bankruptcy. He worked with the UAW to get $1.5 billion loan from the feds. The company turned around by producing cheaper cars and minivans and went on to pay back that loan early. He gave the commencement address at MIT in 1985, telling grads the U.S. has to be ready to take on the world economically.
Your future depends on an America that can hook and jab in the international marketplace.
And he did hook and jabs after spending most of his career at Ford and leading the team that designed the Ford Mustang. He took over Chrysler and stabilized it, and then became nationally known as a master pitchman for his own cars.
Convertibles, they said nobody wanted, but everybody copied. Sports cars and luxury cars with turbos so powerful, so efficient, you'll never go back to a V8 again. And a wagon so versatile, so right for America today, we can't build enough of them. Not bad for a company that had one foot in the grave.
Telling viewers at the end of that ad, if you can find a better car, buy it. Iacocca is less known for maybe his greatest work, leading the effort to restore the neglected Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. The presidential campaign for John Hickenlooper may soon come to an end, perhaps by this weekend.
These campaigns are long, hard campaigns, and you don't always get it right with the first team.
Former Colorado governor has lost staff, struggled to raise campaign cash, and has blown up his senior leadership team this week. Power outages are scattered across northern Illinois from the Quad Cities to Chicago after powerful storms exploded over the area yesterday. Flooding rains brought torrents to the Stevenson, Westmont, Clarendon Hills, and Hinsdale. Flood watches were posted until 12:30 this morning. Chicago Police Union is demanding a special prosecutor replace Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox in any case involving police officers. And Mayor Lori Lightfoot says she's outraged after the Bean in Millennium Park was vandalized. Lightfoot says, in her words, unacceptable for people to deface something so iconic. Pirates 5-1 winners over the Cubs. Sox and Tigers rained out. Aces beat the Sky in Las Vegas. Fire host Atlanta FC tonight. CONCACAF Gold Cup soccer. Mexico nips Haiti. U.S. takes on Jamaica later tonight. 5:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You're listening to AM 560, The Answer, home of 7 of the top 100 radio talk hosts in America, according to Talkers Magazine. Congratulations to Joe Walsh.
I like that.
Larry Elder.
How do you do that?
Dennis Prager.
It should be obvious.
Sebastian Gorka.
That's very interesting.
Hugh Hewitt.
I got you already.
Mike Gallagher.
Honest to goodness.
And the #1 talk show host in the country, Sean Hannity.
This is a little bit overboard.
The top talkers in America are talking right here on AM 560, The Answer.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk. Think about what would happen if you were gone. Would they struggle to pay the bills and face an uncertain future? They don't have to. You can help guarantee those you love $200,000, $500,000, $750,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct. We'll help you get more for your money, up to 70% more. For a free quote, call 1-800-900-1303. Just look, you could get $250,000 of term life coverage for as little as $14 a month. It's no wonder millions of people rely on AIG companies. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation. Make the future more secure for those you love. Call now so you can sleep better at night. For a free quote, call 1-800-900-1303. That's 1-800-900-1303. 1-800-900-1303.
A lost dog, not a lost cause. Read Catching Murphy, the latest book from the Associated Press, available now exclusively at Amazon.com.
537 in the AM 560 traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Eastbound Adams Tollway I-90 traffic is stop and go from Toohey to Lee Street, where there's a crash blocking the right lane. The Edens looks good right now. An earlier crash near Wilson is gone. Kennedy is okay. Overnight construction has lifted. Inbound Eisenhower, traffic's heavy. 17th Avenue to Des Plaines Avenue. And from Ogden to Morgan, 32 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 5 at 29. Inbound Stevenson, it's going to give it congested around Cicero. Inbound Rhine, got a 4 or 5 minute delay. Canal Port to the Burn Circle. Bishop Ford, it's heavy, starting at 115th Street. 25 minutes, 8094 Merge. I-57 looks good. No problems to report in northwest Indiana right now. That's traffic. I'm Jim Calamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. And your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, clouds will break this morning, leaving behind warm and humid conditions with a shower or thunderstorm again this afternoon. High 87. Thunderstorm in spots overnight, low 72. Your 4th of July forecast has heavy rain and 88. Friday, partly sunny, humid, remaining warm with a shower or thunderstorm, high of 88. Currently, we have 74 degrees. Your next news update is at 6, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retire Chicago. Tune in Saturday mornings at 8 to Retire Chicago with John McNamara of McNamara Capital.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and we're talking about Nike and U.S. women's soccer, sort of an intersection there. Tweet from Roy Kissel, is Nike still offering shoes with the Iranian flag? I'm not sure. I don't know if they've pulled the line as well.
Yeah, I think that never got off the ground.
A good op-ed in the USA Today. There's a statement you don't hear very often.
No.
Lori Roberts, who is a Metro columnist for the Arizona Republic, chiming in on this controversy.
So stupid.
And, of course, Governor Ducey's decision to pull the economic incentives for Nike to locate a plant in Goodyear, Arizona.
Just stealing jobs from his constituents is really what he's doing. That is such a bonehead move.
Who?
Ducey. I mean, he...
What are you talking about?
No, the governor of Arizona is not thinking about the people of Arizona. If he pulls the incentives for building the plant in Arizona, he's costing 500 to 1,000 jobs for people of Arizona. It's so stupid, and
Really?
I don't know why he's doing it.
Here's what Doug Ducey's explanation.
Oh, yeah, please. Enlighten me.
Arizona's economy is doing just fine without Nike. We don't need to suck up to companies that consciously denigrate our nation's history.
Denigrate our nation's history. They were just putting a flag that we used to fly as Americans on a shoe for the 4th of July.
Well, he's on the side of the Betsy Ross flag.
Okay.
So he's pulling the incentives
Right.
because of Nike pulling the shoes.
Right, which is I know, but the bottom line is it still hurts the people of Arizona. If the plant is not built in Arizona, it still hurts. So he should sit this one out.
Well, they can locate a plant in Arizona. They just don't get taxpayer incentives to do so.
But I don't know if they will now.
Well, I hope they don't. That's the point. I hope they. I mean, and you know, some other left-wing state will come in and give taxpayers money away for a business. I mean, I don't like economic incentives like that. I don't like goodies. Some businesses get tax breaks and other businesses don't. Period. Just as a or sort of a matter of principle. But okay, setting that issue aside for a minute. So nothing that a company does should result in pulling incentives, tax incentives, because it will create jobs. So everything is subordinated to the economic concern. Is that your view?
Yes.
Everything is.
Well,
no matter what a company does.
You know, honestly, I think that he should have sat this one out, not said a word, let Nike come there, because Nike's not going away anytime soon. And he has a chance to offer 500, 1,000 people jobs in Arizona. That's huge. I mean, I understand why he did what he did, but I just would not have said anything, and I would not have taken the incentives away.
Well, so how do you attach consequences to corporate decisions you disagree with? I mean, I know you can, just personally choose to consume
what
their
Laura
products.
Ingram's doing and her family. They're not buying any Nike products ever again.
Well, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. We've got dissent. Should Doug Ducey have just sat that out, because nothing is more important than creating jobs, and everything, all other considerations should be subordinated to that concern. Leo in Wicker Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, Dan, I agree with the governor, but, I also agreed with her Cortez when she didn't want Amazon to go to Brooklyn either. So it's the same thing. It also benefits Illinois because maybe they'll all come here.
Yeah, right. Hilarious.
Well,
Thanks
now
for the
that
call,
we
Leo.
have the new gas tax, we'll have better infrastructure. So all these companies are going to come here because we have great roads.
That's
according to Pritzker. Yeah.
Of course. That was the last piece of the puzzle. Richard on the south side. Richard.
Hello?
Hey, Richard, you're on.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
This gives media an opportunity to provide some information to Americans because most Americans are using the ping pong, be it the situation of Amazon or this situation with Nike, because Arizona was the last state to ratify or to deal with Dr. King's birthday as a national holiday. And so people like myself understand where they're coming from. But the comment that your co-host made, she don't think of slavery when she thinks about the 13 original states and Betsy Ross. Well, my dad and mom were born in the state of Georgia, and they had to leave the state of Georgia because of the enormous racism that has taken place since its founding as a penal colony. And so you guys have an opportunity to educate people instead of some of them calling in with these sarcastic remarks. The 13 original states sanctioned slavery. And there's a lot of people still around who suffer from that legacy. And it's not about Kaepernick, it's about what that flag symbolizes. And in every war in these United States, as well as myself and my father and grandfather and great-grandfather, fought to defend these freedoms and these principles. Give us a break and recognize our work, recognize what we've done for this country, so we can go forward instead of looking backwards.
Okay, so
Richard, when you see that flag, it evokes a feeling of, you see slavery when you see the Betsy Ross flag?
My father, on every holiday, when he was alive, he hung the American flag in the front of our house and in the back of our house. And he always told me and my brothers and sisters that he would die for this flag.
Well,
and that he was insignificant because he was born in one of the 13 original states. But the fact is, those 13 original states sanctioned slavery.
Yeah, we're familiar with the history. We talk about it all the time. I mean, this is constant because this is all the left wants to talk about is what happened 240 years ago. They don't want to talk about what's happening on the ground today. Let me. Wait. I'll do history lessons all day long because we're going to do another one shortly on Charlottesville since they just eliminated celebrating Thomas Jefferson's birthday. We'll talk about a little bit about the history of Charlottesville as well. But my point is this: with respect to this issue, the idea that Colin Kaepernick, it is about Colin Kaepernick because this is the source of the controversy, that flag evokes slavery and so essentially should be verboten. Well, couldn't you say the same thing about the current iteration of the American flag, a position apparently your father would disagree with? I like what Lori Roberts said in this piece in USA Today. The American flag belongs to all Americans. It's not Trump's America or Trump's flag. Liberals take back our most enduring symbol. That's right.
Can I say this to you? I'm not even worried about Kaepernick. I'm not even worried about the head of Nike. That's a business decision because most of the people who are afflicted by these policies are too busy taking care of their families instead of worrying about this stuff. But the fact of the matter is that the media has a golden opportunity to explain to people what is taking place down the line. And it was said this week, a historian said that there were 1,000 troops with George Washington in Valley Forge that were black. He said that was the first and last time until the Korean War where black and white troops fought together to defend this country. If we want to go forward, tell the whole story.
Okay.
Don't be sarcastic about freedom because what we symbolize.
I'm not being sarcastic. I respect what your family went through. I understand that.
Well,
my father and uncles all served this country.
Okay.
And they served it with dignity. And then the thing is they couldn't get benefits when they came home, or the German troops were treated better in World War II than black troops. And there's still people around here that understand that kind of stuff. So this is not about Kaepernick. This is about what we mean and what we do as a society. We're Americans. I'm an American. You're an American. Let's talk about that. And that's why we worry about how those people from El Salvador and Guatemala being treated on the coast. We're Americans. We're not Nazis. We're not fascists. We're not colonialists. We're Americans. That means that we, on our sleeve, we defend the human rights across the board. Now, we might not like it, but the fact of the matter is this. You guys got a golden opportunity to tell the whole story. If you tell the whole story, then we go forward as Americans in the future, because I celebrate the 4th of July.
All right. Okay.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we spent like last week arguing about compensatory damages. I was arguing for compensatory damages for people who lived under Jim Crow and were mistreated as a matter of law. Were second-class citizens as a matter of law. I don't think anybody is trying to whitewash history. Well, no, there is somebody that's trying to do that. The left. The cultural Marxists are trying to eliminate our history. I'm happy to acknowledge it and pore over it in painstaking detail. That is what the left is unwilling to do. They are frozen in time. I am not. It is 1863 America or 1963 America for the left. Period, full stop. So that's the issue here. It's not an unwillingness to acknowledge the dark periods in American history, the inhuman treatment of fellow Americans at the hands of the government and other Americans, which is what the government's comprised of, you know. So you want to have a wide-ranging conversation about American history and any of these topics, I'm game. It's the cultural Marxists who are in charge of the Democrat Socialist Party and all of our civic and corporate institutions that don't want to have that wide-ranging discussion, that want to tell a fraction of the story. So you're right, Richard, from the South Side. We have a golden opportunity. We're exploiting our opportunity. The media mavens on the left, not so much. Kurt in Bolingbrook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, you're about to talk about Charlottesville. University of Virginia is there. Their mascot is the Cavalier. In Virginia, there's only one Cavalier, and there's only one Cavalier who wears an ostrich feather in his hat. That's General Early Brown Stewart, who is the head of Lee's cavalry. Mm-hmm. They don't ever mention him. They'll go after Lee. They'll go after Jefferson, but they won't talk about their own mascot ever.
Well,
so I find that very, very interesting.
The only Virginia Cavalier to me is Ralph Sampson. But besides that point, you know that Charlottesville. You know who Charlottesville is named after?
No.
That I don't.
Princess Charlotte, who married King George III.
Oh.
So it's a nice tribute to our former overlords from across the pond.
Didn't we have a final war to separate from them?
Thanks for the call, Kurt. Appreciate it. Chris in Kansasville, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Sometimes you do have to stand up for your principles. And from Amy's point of view, remember, she still thinks Michelle Obama is gorgeous.
She
and
is.
I wanted to ask
stunning.
her.
She's hot.
I wanted to ask her who's more gorgeous, Amy, right now, Mayor Pete or Michelle Obama?
That's a hard one.
Thanks for the call, Chris.
I'm going to have to go with my girl, Michelle.
Michelle is ravishing. Pete is just darling.
Exactly.
You know, it's different kinds of
Poor
beauty.
Pete. We'll get to him later. Poor Pete.
Ann in Chicago.
Oh, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
You know what? The Jews were slaves of the Egyptians for 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Slavic race, the slave race. People have been slaves since thousands of years ago. And if they want reparation, why don't they have the opportunity now to go to England and the royal family? They had the colonies. They had us. They had, why don't they go to the royal family now and ask for reparation?
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ann. We're going to think about that.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Got tax problems? Want to get the IRS off your ASS? Whether you're an individual or business and are having problems with the IRS, have PJN Tax Solutions Group help you solve your problems. PJN Tax Solutions Group specializes in providing affordable solutions to businesses and individuals like you who, for whatever reason, find themselves at odds with the IRS. They'll represent you in front of the IRS, allowing you to continue on with your life. You won't have to speak with an IRS agent. PJN Tax Solutions Group puts experts to work to solve your tax problems quickly and affordably. They offer a free consultation to review your case and explain your options. Would you go to court without an attorney? Then why would you represent yourself before the IRS? Call PJN Tax Solutions Group today at 630-415-5296 or visit their website at pjntaxsolutions.com. PJN Tax Solutions Group. They're the rescue squad for troubled taxpayers.
Hey, the recent rain, because it keeps coming, has been keeping our friends at Permaseal very busy. Everyone with a leaky basement, dead sump pump, or flooded crawl space needs their help. While it's tempting to choose the first waterproofer that offers a quick fix, I can tell you personally that Permaseal is worth the wait. They offer permanent solutions with lifetime transferable warranties and a price assurance guarantee. So give them a call today, 800-421-SEAL. Their professional consultants will inspect your foundation inside and out and provide a free written estimate. Call 1-800-421-7325, 1-800-421-SEAL, or go to permaseal.net.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's the 4th of July sale at Ace. Right now, buy one, get one 50% off on gallons of our top paint brands like Valspar, Clark & Kensington, and Magnolia Home Paint. And with our Ace Extra Mile promise, we'll help you get everything you need to paint in one trip or deliveries free. Don't miss the 4th of July sale at Ace. Buy one, get one 50% off our top paint brands. Now through Monday. Limit 2. Delivery subject to availability. Visit acehardware.com for details.
Ever wanted to speak another language? Babbel can get you confidently speaking Spanish, French, or German within weeks.
I just started learning Spanish with Babbel, and it's really helping my pronunciation.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas? Ha! Got it. I wish I'd tried Babbel sooner.
See why Babbel is the quick way to get conversational in a new language. Go to Babbel.com to select your language. That's Babbel, Babbel.com, or download the app to try for free.
We're seeing the tide begin to shift in the country on the issue of life. It's happening in a lot of states with a number of heartbeat bills being signed into law, but one big exception is, of course, the bad example, Illinois, where lawmakers have removed almost all restrictions on abortions in the state. And that's why it's more important than ever that women facing a crisis pregnancy have an option to choose life, which is where Heartbeat International comes in. Heartbeat International is the first network of pro-life pregnancy resource centers around the country. They're a nonprofit association of pregnancy centers, medical clinics, maternity homes, and nonprofit adoption agencies from across the nation. They're committed to making abortion unwanted and unthinkable. That's why they operate their toll-free option line, a simple phone number that any woman facing crisis pregnancy can call and get the help she needs to choose life. And right now, we're helping Heartbeat International keep the option line running. It costs $75 per hour to run the option line, and we're asking for you to make a gift of $75 to sponsor 1 hour. That's all it takes to stop an abortion. Each day, more than 1,000 women call for help, and each call can mean the life of a baby is saved. To sponsor an hour, just go to saveababynow.com. That's saveababynow.com, or call 800-999-7408 to make a $75 gift today. Your gift could be what it takes for a woman to choose life. Call today.
Hey guys, Ken here from Income Store. Did you know of the top 10 reasons an employee stays at a company for more than 2 years? The 7th reason is the pay or the salary. The first 6 reasons have nothing to do with money. Things like they feel part of a team, they know they belong, their voice is heard, they're respected. Also, employees go through 5 phases within a couple days to 6 months of any new position. Excitement, education, reality, doubt, then clarity. Did you know it's a manager's job to walk them to clarity as fast as possible? If you need to know these fundamental principles, did I just say that? I'm going to leave that in. If you need to know these fundamental principles, I can't say this. This is awesome. This is like a blooper roll. Hey, you know what? If you need tips and techniques like this to grow your business today, you got to check out door number 1 of Income Store. If you just need somebody to literally hold your hand and get you to the finish line, check out door number 2 of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and I've got a quick, cost-effective way to protect and grow the value of your home this summer. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters for interior and exterior painting. They painted the first floor of my home last year, and every time someone walks in, they always say, gosh, your house looks so much bigger. That's because one of their color specialists helped me pick out the perfect color. So boost your curb appeal this summer with a fresh coat of paint while protecting it from the heat, storms, and insects. Be proud to show off your house to your friends and neighbors. Their summer calendar has a few spots available, so secure yours now. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
AM 560, The Answer.
What's the word of this ssong?
Tequila. Yeah.
It's a good karaoke song if you ever need one.
Pretty
What?
lame. There's not many. There's not much in the way of
Did
lyrics.
you see America's Got Talent? This guy did the song. And Simon Cowell was very disappointed. Anyway, okay, get to it already. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Is President Obama's vice president out of touch on race? We'll discuss Joe Biden's political future at 6:06, as well as, and more important news, good news, the Sheboygan serial toilet clogger has been captured.
And later, oh, poor Pete. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Kane County State's Attorney Joe McMahon not seeking re-election. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Another judge rules against President Trump. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The decision involves migrants who come here illegally hoping to get asylum. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, a federal judge in Seattle ruled that asylum seekers are entitled to bond hearings, reversing a directive from Attorney General William Barr that they be held until their cases are heard. The American Civil Liberties Union sued over the policy, which was to go into effect this month. Under the ruling, migrants must be released or granted a bond hearing within 7 days. The Justice Department expected to appeal the ruling, which comes as the Trump administration delays planned immigration raids, giving Congress more time to strike a deal on asylum laws. Dave?
Now, Rachel, there's more information on the conditions in those detention facilities in Texas.
The Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General says overcrowding has reached dangerous levels in migrant detention facilities in the Rio Grande Valley, showing photographs of 88 adult males in a cell designed to hold 41. One man is seen holding a cardboard sign reading "Help." The visits occurred in June, but the report was released the day after several House Democrats expressed alarm at what they saw at a border facility.
Fox's Jared Halvern. The 2020 census will apparently go forward without a citizenship question. The process of printing it has begun a week after the Supreme Court blocked that question, much to President Trump's chagrin. A Navy SEAL charged with a murder in Iraq found not guilty.
I'm happy and thankful.
That's Eddie Gallagher saying he's happy and thanking God, acquitted of killing a wounded ISIS prisoner shooting at civilians. Gallagher was convicted, though, of posing for photographs with a dead terrorist. Sentencing today, he could get time already served. Iran is warning it'll further breach that international nuclear deal the U.S. pulled out of last year, that it will enrich uranium to any amount it wants. Lee Iacocca has died. The man credited for saving Chrysler in the 1980s with the K car and the minivan.
If you can find a better car, buy it.
Iacocca also developed the Mustang while working for Ford. He was 94. This is Fox News.
Cloudy skies, 73 degrees. We have light rain showers in the area at 6:02 on AM 560 The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Power outages scattered across northern Illinois from the Quad Cities all the way to Chicago after powerful storms exploded over the area yesterday evening. Flooding rains brought torrents to the Stevenson Expressway, Westmont, Clarendon Hills, and Hinsdale. Gusty winds and downpours tracked over the area until midnight. Flash flood watches were posted until about 12:30 this morning. 3 men are in critical condition following a crash on the southwest side. Chicago police tell us a man was driving a vehicle this morning when he ran a red light and slammed into a viaduct in the 3900 block of Southwestern Avenue. Chicago Police Union demanding a special prosecutor to replace Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx in any case involving police officers. The FOP notes that special prosecutors have been appointed to replace Foxx in 2 recent cases in which police have been the victim of a crime or have been accused of misconduct. Authorities have identified the woman killed in a shooting in Long Grove. Lake County Sheriff's Office says Barbara Powers was arguing with her husband in their home on Monday. She retrieved a gun from an upstairs bedroom, fired shots at her husband, and missed. The couple was struggling over the gun when it went off again. Bullet struck Powers in the head. She died at the scene. The husband was questioned but later released without charges. Chicago sports, Adam Frazier, a 3-run home run in the Pirates' 5-1 win over the Cubs. Sox and Tigers rained out at guaranteed rate. The game made up as part of a September doubleheader. The offseason continues to be a busy one for the Bulls, agreeing to terms with guard Ryan Arcidiacono on a 3-year, $9 million contract, and they receive a 2-year commitment from former Knicks big man Luke Cornett. The news service of Dairy Queen. Hey, DQ fans, the summer blizzard treat menu is here to be your next summer obsession. It's got 7 summer-filled flavors like cotton candy, brownie dough, and Sour Patch Kids. The only question is, which one will you try first? Only at your DQ. Happy tastes good. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager says the president can't win in the eyes of the left.
Their attitude is you attack the president no matter what he does. That's the left's view, period. So if he attacks Iran, the guy's a warmonger. If he doesn't attack Iran, then he's not decisive. He's not decisive. Get it?
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving. Built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mark Weingart, President and CEO of Star Creations, Inc., the fastest-growing supplier of wall decor products in the U.S. When it comes to banking, I don't want to be a small fish in a big pond. That's why I bank at Signature Bank Chicago. At Signature Bank, every customer is important. I know I can pick up the phone and talk to any one of the decision makers I know and trust at Signature Bank. At Signature Bank, they understand and respond to the unique needs of my business with flexibility and fairness. I'm proud to bank with Signature Bank because I know they're deeply invested in the success of Star Creations.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Get your truly free credit scores and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma today. Download the Credit Karma app now. Credit Karma. Here's to progress.
6:07 in the AM 560 traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Metra has delays on the Milwaukee West line going back to last night due to freight train interference issues. Adams Tollway eastbound traffic to Mass Tui to Lee. The right lane is blocked with wreck eastbound Reagan Tollway. Traffic bumper to bumper. to the Veterans Memorial Tollway to the Myers Toll Plaza. A crash there in the left lane. On the northbound Tri-State on the exit to the westbound Reagan Tollway, there's some high water on that ramp. Edens is okay. The Kennedy, 21 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 24. Eisenhower, 36 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan, 28 minutes from 95th. Bishop Ford, 26 minutes, 8094 to the Merge. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Some breaks of sun today. Shower and thunderstorm and a high 87. A shower and thunderstorm around this evening. Otherwise cloudy tonight, low 72. Independence Day, partly sunny. Shower and thunderstorm later in the day. Those storms could be slow moving, high 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
70 at O'Hare, 69 along the lakefront. Rain showers in the area. Next news at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Creep Show Joe.
What did Diamond and Silk call him? They called him Slimy Creepy Joe?
No, Sleepy Joe. Or yeah, Slow Joe.
Slow Joe.
Slow Joe, maybe.
Slow Joe.
Not to be confused with Flo Joe.
Exactly. Oh, I love Flo Joe.
And please do not want Joe Biden in any Flo Joe outfits either, including the nails. Is Joe Biden out of touch on race? Even the question is just remarkable, isn't it? President Obama's vice president, somebody that the left spent 8 years genuflecting before because he was President Obama's vice president, the anointed front runner at the start of this race. Now, one debate and a sort of cursory perusal of his record of 40 years in public life, and some disagreements about the 1994 crime bill and about his position on busing. And
bye-bye. Well, he's down 10 points, right?
Well, but forget even that. The question, the idea that this guy's 76 years old, and now it's like he just arrived. So what's the deal with this Joe Biden character we've just been introduced to? Now, admittedly, Biden isn't helping himself. He has a problem with the truth. He has a problem
with touching.
Well, yes.
Smelling.
And
lurking.
So, for example, this happened this week where they unearthed Joe Biden from a 2014 Martin Luther King Day breakfast, saying something that at best is unverified.
It was the single most significant thing that happened to me, prepare me for my job. I became friends with an awful lot of these guys. Spencer Henry, you may remember, great quarter miler at Morgan State. A guy named Lafayette Jackson, incredibly successful public housing guy out in St. Louis. Good guys. But it was an epiphany for me. And so I got involved in I was no big shakes, Reverend, in the civil rights movement. I was just a kid. I got involved in desegregated movie theaters and helping, you may remember Reverend Moyer in Delaware and Herman Holloway organize voter registration drives, coming out of black churches on Sunday, figuring how we were going to move.
Yeah, and the problem is there's no evidence that Biden had any involvement in the civil rights movement in the 60s beyond being a spectator as he went to college, became a lawyer, ran for office, and then was elected to the Newcastle County Newcastle County Council in Delaware, which began his 46 years of uninterrupted public office. 46 uninterrupted years of holding public office. So I'm not saying that this calls into question whether Joe Biden is out of touch on race. It just calls into question what do you already know about Joe Biden. He embellishes, he makes things up, he steals other people's work. It doesn't make him unique among politicians, but it certainly doesn't help his standing. But you have Carol Moseley Braun. Remember her?
Oh, I know.
She's coming to the
What is she
defense
doing?
of Joe Biden. I'm not kidding. She told Politico, we can be proud of Kamala Harris, but her ambition got it wrong about Joe, referring to their exchange in last week's debate. He is about the best there is. For her to take that tack is sad. Carol Moseley Braun, first black female United States senator, you remember.
I remember.
Also, others are...
Do you think they paid her to release that statement?
No. Others are coming to his defense as well. She played low ball, referring to Kamala Harris, which was out of character, and he didn't expect it, nor did I, said Lee White, a Biden supporter who attended his remarks at Rainbow Push. She should have not gone that route. She's much too intelligent. She's been able to be successful thus far. Why do you have to do that? Another Biden supporter from California declined to be named for this Politico piece. It's going to bite her in the ass, the supporter said. Very early on, there was buzz. Biden-Kamala is the dream ticket, the best of both worlds. After this week, that blank ain't happening. Well,
I still think he'd choose her.
Well, if he's the nominee, but that's not the point. The point is there's not going to be a pillow fight that people are going to come for Joe Biden. You know why? Because weakness is provocative and he's weak. But that doesn't mean he's racist. And, I mean, talk about being in the uncomfortable position of defending Creepshow Joe. But don't you find this remarkable? The endless series of the left's medieval virginity tests now have this navel-gazing conversation about Joe Biden and race. Does somebody think Joe Biden is a... Do you think he's a racist? I believe that the left supports all sorts of racist policies like opposition to school choice. I'm not talking about that. Do you believe that he is a supporter of black Americans being second-class citizens?
No, I don't.
Come on. It's ridiculous.
And Kamala even said that. I don't believe that you're racist.
Yeah, but then she went on to say, but you're
racist.
But you're racist, and you hang out with racists.
But you've had some racist actions, and you hung out with segregationists.
And that hurt her so much.
I don't think that hurt her.
Well, that's what she said. Hurt. She said hurt.
Okay.
Because, you have to emote. This hurt me. Did it? Is there something about Joe Biden's record that has not been unearthed until recently? I mean, maybe with the minor exception of his work during the administration, during his time as VP on behalf of his son Hunter's business interests. But in terms of his position on this, maybe he's leaning too much on his connection to Obama, the besties, friendship bracelet on National Best Friends Day.
Embarrassing.
I mean, it's childish.
Well, he's trying a little too hard.
He's an intellectual lightweight. Biden is, just as the gentleman he served with, President Obama, intellectual lightweight. These are lightweights. So this is what they do. Flim-flammery, sort of student council style. Is Joe Biden out of touch on race?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
It's a perfect segue to this piece in the week by Damon Linker. Because these kind of conversations the Democrats are having, go ahead and have them. Go ahead and do your medieval virginity tests. Because you're just providing a glide path to Trump's reelection. And Damon Linker's piece about Democrats in denial in two ways is quite good, just in terms of a nuts and bolts political analysis. And he is not, clearly, if you read the piece, he's not coming from a place of celebrating that this is true. This is more of a warning shot for Democrats, much like pieces from Andrew Sullivan about the Democrats being in a bubble on immigration, or other pieces, Nicholas Kristof's piece about knee-jerk liberalism, are trying to rein in the radical left. writes Linker, progressives are so utterly convinced of the injustice of the political reality of Trump that in reaction to it, they've driven themselves to embrace two forms of denial. One form of denial has them living in a fantasy of changing the system from the top to the bottom. They'll break liberal California into multiple new states and grant statehood to D.C. and Puerto Rico in order to take firm control of the Senate. They'll abolish the Electoral College so the president's determined by a nationwide popular vote. They'll pack the Supreme Court to ensure no part of the federal government pushes back against these and other efforts at radical institutional reform. The problem with this fantasy is it requires winning first, using the current rules. And talking about wanting to make such radical changes will make such a victory less likely. The other form of denial, writes Linker, in which today's Democrats are prone, has them dreaming about magically overcoming their problems, not by responding reasonably to the demands of the electoral map, by moderating their positions on some issues, but by embracing their inner Democrat socialist. They hope and pray, in other words, that if they pretend their structural problems don't exist, they'll be rescued by demographic trends or Trump's awfulness or their own charm and charisma or the latent leftist convictions buried deep within the American electorate. None of that is likely to be true. And the point he makes is they're not, way left on some issues and then sort of moderate on others to sort of confuse the issue. They're all the way over the edge on every issue. Every issue calls for a bigger, more expansive and intrusive government foray into entitlements. Everything is about deconstructing the family. Everything is about wealth transfer. Everything is government-centric, private life, as well as public institutions. Everything is top-down government-driven. And that's not where people are at. They don't want private health insurance eliminated.
No.
They don't, most reasonable people, including those suburban swing voters, know there's no such thing as a free lunch.
There isn't?
They're not buying it. And, so it's really interesting because you've got all these sort of center-left columnists, and now Linker adding to them, doing different forms of analysis to try to signal to the 25 Democrat socialist candidates that they're overreaching. Mike on the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for taking the call. He who lives by the race card dies by the race card. Remember when Mitt Romney was running for president and Joe Biden said, if he wins, he's going to put you all back in chains?
Yeah.
Well, now it's coming back on him.
Well,
I think this is basically...
Well, I know that, but that's not my question. That's not my question. I know Joe, I don't have any sympathy for Joe Biden. The question is Joe Biden, is Joe Biden out of touch on race? I'll ask the question that the navel-gazing media is asking.
Okay, no, it's not. What this is all about is non-retrogression. Once an office goes black, it can't go back to somebody else. So they're going to knock all these people out, and everybody's going to have to line up, put their hand up and swear, I'm not a racist. I'm going to vote for Kamala, whatever her name is. Look at Cook County. Cook County's 22% black, but the black Democrats have all the executive offices in Cook County.
Yeah.
They just don't want to give the offices back.
Well, okay, thanks for the comment. But this is
sounds a little racist.
Well, I don't even understand the argument. This is being driven by white champagne socialists. Being driven by white champagne socialists. That's who's suggesting largely suggesting that Joe Biden has a problem with race, right? Yes, I know it was an exchange between him and Kamala, but that was just her using, her intersectional attributes to score political points in that debate. But I mean, you have Carol Moseley Braun and the people affiliated with Operation Push rallying to Joe Biden's defense on the topic. I mean, who's driving all of this cultural Marxism? Is it black voters? Not really. You know why? They don't really have the political power to do it or the economic power. It's white liberals white, I shouldn't use the word liberal, white cultural Marxists, champagne socialists, who drive this stuff from their racist kind of white man's burden perspective so they can say they did something and keep those people away. Keep those people away. That's the attitude of the white, effete, wealthy champagne socialist. That's who's driving all of this. It is coming from places like the North Shore, not the South Side. And if you don't understand that, then you don't understand why all of this has taken such hold in, again, all of the institutions that provide a foundation for civil society. Where's Jim? Jimmy's on one of the inbound expressways.
He's on the road.
Jimmy, you're on
Hey,
Chicago's
guys.
Morning Answer.
Yeah. A little known fact, if you do any history, and I grew up on the East Coast of New Jersey. I went to Delaware in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. A little known fact, a little bit of research, Delaware was the most racist state in the Union, far more than Georgia, even in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. They kept the blacks, as they called them, in tow. And the way they referred to people down there was so degrading, humiliating, and anyone who knows Joe Biden's history or Delaware's history would be amazed at the double standard that Joe Biden has. He's not out of touch. He is in denial. He would go to rallies for the blacks, say one thing, go to rallies for the whites and say other things. And
Right.
it wasn't on tape back then, but this is what this is who Joe Biden is.
Well, but
and
that's
it was so evident during Anita Hills. That was a tame Joe Biden compared to the Joe Biden in the 60s and in the 70s.
Well, sure. Thanks for the call, Jimmy. And that's because he's a political chameleon, like most politicians are. He's looking to serve his ambition. There's no principles. I mean, that's, the Democrats obsess about talking about their values because they know that has sort of transcendental appeal. But it's also a concession as to what they are not operating from. They have to obsessively talk about values because they don't exhibit any except naked ambition, except pursuit of power. So that has to be papered over in something high-minded. And so you just use words. I mean, it's the same way that Governor Jellybelly talks about jobs. If you just keep saying jobs, 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 you're like, I guess that's the guy for jobs. I guess that's the guy creating jobs.
Great infrastructure is going to create
It's the
jobs.
same thing. Values, values, values. Oh, that's a principled person. That person keeps parroting the word values. Joe in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The whole Democratic Party, in my opinion, is racist. When are the minorities going to wake up and realize that the Democratic Party has let them down for 50-plus years? We're going to fight for you, and you're no better off than you were 50 years ago. In fact, in some arguments, you could say you're worse. I think it's the ignorant voter in the racist Democratic Party that's to blame. It's like a money pit. You keep paying the roofer to fix your roof. Oh, if we only had more money and more time and more people, we could fix your roof. You had 50 years to fix my roof, buddy.
I hear you, Joe. Thanks for the call. I mean, I ask this question all the time. How's it going? You got everybody in office. I mean, for Chicago being a prime example, you got everybody in office that you wanted, right?
Yeah,
These are the people you voted
Right.
for. How's it going?
Democratic rule for what, 100 years in the state of Illinois?
Well, city of Chicago.
Well, city of Chicago, not Illinois.
So is it good? Everything even Steven now? Good schools, safe neighborhoods, lots of economic opportunities. Is that what's happening? Verlon on the south side.
Man, you gave me three things to respond to, so I'm gonna try to tackle it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, the reason why Joe Biden was never vetted by the mainstream media for the past 15 years. For the last past decade, he plays second fiddle to a black president, so that washed his hands clean.
Yeah, good point. That's a good point.
What?
That's a good point.
Okay, that was to your first question about where did Joe Biden come from? Did nobody know about Joe Biden? That's why they didn't know. To your second question is Joe Biden a racist? Let me tell you something. Birds of a feather flock together. When you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. In 1977, 13 years after the Civil Rights Act was passed, he wrote a letter to James Elston. I think that
Eastland. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thanking him for standing with him to being against the anti-busing court order, not what he said on stage with his line, but talking about he was against the Department of Education busing. It was a court order busing. So he lied and he praised, just like Kamala Harris said, he praised the segregationists. So that's why I say when you lay down with dogs, you get fleas, and birds of a feather flock together. And to your last point of black people don't really have the economic power, well, last year black people spent $1.3 trillion in this economy to big business. That's why big business like Nike and these other businesses bow down when somebody like Kaepernick or black people say they're going to boycott because they spend a lot of money in the business community.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for the call, Verlon, and a great Poor Richard's Almanac impersonation you did there. Great Benjamin Franklin impersonation with the lay down with dogs, get up with fleas. But so I'm not saying they don't have any economic power, any purchasing power, or any political power. Of course, blacks do as a group. Unfortunately, 90% in one direction, which actually marginalizes the power that they could have because people aren't competing for their fealty. At least politically. Of course, everybody's competing for their business, like you would compete for anybody's business that has a dollar in their pocket. But in terms of my point was about who's driving this, who's driving the cultural Marxism. And I don't think that it's, generally speaking, black families, black voters in this country. I think it is those who have significantly more power and influence and purchasing power in addition to power generally, and that is the Champagne Socialists. That's where it's coming from. Because where did this all start? The hallowed halls of academia. Tony in Downers Grove.
Hey, Dan. Well, you're half right. It is the Champagne Socialists who drive it, but it's the waves of minorities that tag along.
Yeah.
And they do vote. They vote with their color. They vote with ethnicity, and they're going to continue to do so. And just real quick on the Kaepernick thing, Nike's making a business decision. Their target market is not old white men. It's teenagers and young people, and that's who's looking at this. And they're just making a business decision, and they're making a sound business decision because they keep on making a lot of money.
Thanks for the call, Tony. Perhaps, although, as Andrew Sullivan pointed out about overreaching on gender identity politics, that can boomerang on you. And so now you've got 18 to 34-year-olds who are less likely to feel comfortable around gays and lesbians. You've got them less likely to want to support whatever the LGBT cause du jour is because of the seemingly conflictual positions about sexual orientation and gender being a social construct. And these things are running into one another, and it's turning off a lot of those young people that Nike is trying to cater to. So, the cop-hating, Castro-loving Kaepernick, that can boomerang on Nike, too.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll stay on this topic, but bring a local, Mayor Lightfoot.
Cares more about a bean than people being shot?
Well, she cares about them equally.
Right. And later, a celebration that's already creating fireworks. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
A break in the heavy rain, at least temporarily this morning, 69 degrees. Power outages scattered across northern Illinois from the Quad Cities all the way to northwest Indiana after powerful storms exploded over the area yesterday evening. House Democrats are suing to force the Treasury Department to release President Trump's tax returns. The Ways and Means Committee suing both the Treasury and the IRS. Navy SEAL accused of war crimes has been found not guilty of murder and attempted murder. Edward Gallagher was accused of killing a captured ISIS fighter and then shooting at civilians. Edward Gallagher's wife, Andrea, cheered the verdict but noted her husband's reputation has been sullied.
He's fought every major enemy of the United States. He is a righteous and noble individual, and his name has been smeared and slandered and dragged through the mud.
Prosecutors say Gallagher stabbed a teenage fighter to death in Iraq. Israel's foreign ministry says the Jewish state's military is preparing for possible involvement in a military confrontation between the U.S. and Iran. Israeli officials' comment came as tensions are on the increase. Former Chrysler chairman Lee Iacocca is dead. His family confirming the news. The automaker dying at the age of 94. Iacocca best known for saving Chrysler after it filed for bankruptcy in the early 80s. A total eclipse in Chile knocked out half of the country's solar power. Country's energy ministry says, however, the energy produced by Chilean solar farms dropped 50%, but the bright side was the ministry anticipated the drop, and the drop was picked up by Chile's natural gas and coal resources for the shortfall that kept folks in the dark for a couple of hours. Chicago Police Union is demanding a special prosecutor to replace Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox in any case involving police officers. A kindergarten teacher at a private religious school in Burbank is accused of sexually assaulting an underage student and soliciting child pornography from another. Shannon Griffin faces a number of charges. And the challenge to Wisconsin's political map is over. A 3-judge panel yesterday dismissing a lawsuit that said that state's map was too political. That dismissal was expected after a U.S. Supreme Court ruling last week. Pirates over the Cubs 5-1. Sox and Tigers rained out. Fire hosts Atlanta FC tonight. The news service of Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. With more than 6,000 hotels across the country, including La Quinta, Days Inn, and Super 8. A great hotel by Wyndham, closer than you think. Find one near you and book direct at wyndhamhotels.com. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and I've got a quick, cost-effective way to protect and grow the value of your home this summer. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters for interior and exterior painting. They painted the first floor of my home last year, and every time someone walks in, they always say, gosh, your house looks so much bigger. That's because one of their color specialists helped me pick out the perfect color. So boost your curb appeal this summer with a fresh coat of paint while protecting it from the heat, storms, and insects. Be proud to show off your house to your friends and neighbors. Their summer calendar has a few spots available, so secure yours now. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com, that's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
If you only go to one festival this summer, this is the one you and your family can't miss. Make plans to be at one of Chicagoland's favorite festivals, Eyes to the Skies, July 4th through the 6th at Lyle Community Park. The Eyes to the Skies Festival has been entertaining folks for over 30 years with morning and evening balloon launches, balloon glows, nightly fireworks, and live music on 2 stages. Plus, there's a carnival with rides, craft fair, a huge kids area, and over 50 unique food vendors. Ever wondered what riding in a hot air balloon feels like, but are a bit nervous? Try a tethered balloon ride and take some stunning pictures from this incredible view. Make plans now for the Eyes to the Skies Festival at Lyle Community Park, July 4th through the 6th. Admission is just $10 with kids under 8 free. See eyes-to-the-skies.org for free parking and shuttle service locations, complete balloon launch schedule, and all the info you'll need for an awesome weekend. The Eyes to the Skies Festival at Lyle Community Park, July 4th through the 6th. Don't miss it.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk.
Think about what would happen if you were gone. Would they struggle to pay the bills and face an uncertain future? They don't have to. You can help guarantee those you love $200,000, $500,000, $750,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct. We'll help you get more for your money, up to 70% more. For a free quote, call 1-800-900-1303. Just look, you could get $250,000 of term life coverage for as little as $14 a month. It's no wonder millions of people rely on AIG companies. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation. Make the future more secure for those you love. Call now so you can sleep better at night. For a free quote, call 1-800-900-1303. That's 1-800-900-1303. 1-800-900-1303.
A lost dog, not a lost cause. Read Catching Murphy, the latest book from the Associated Press, available now exclusively at Amazon.com.
It is 6:38, AM 560 Traffic Center time. And here's Jim Talamonte.
Jane Addams Tollway, eastbound I-90 traffic is jammed. Bussy to Lee, where an earlier crash has cleared. The eastbound Reagan Tollway has delays. From the Veterans Memorial Tollway to the Myers Toll Plaza, there was an earlier crash. Northbound Tri-State, it's heavy. Harlem to the 83rd Street Toll. From the Stevenson to Ogden and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. The Edens is 20 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose with a Kennedy. Jammed Fullerton to the Burns Circle. 44 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 34 from Montrose, 25 on the Express. Eisenhower, 42 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 35 minutes from 95th. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop, 432. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. And your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, clouds will break this morning, leaving behind warm and humid conditions, and that will build toward a shower or thunderstorm later this afternoon, high 87. Currently 69 at O'Hare with some fog. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, some good news for Chicago. The proposal to impose sales taxes on services that are not currently subject to sales taxes is starting to get some traction.
Oh, the service tax?
Yeah. So Lightfoot has proposed it on, like big law firms like the one she used to work at, Mayor Brown, and, the white shoe companies in the city. Joe Cahill, who writes for the Anti-Business Business Journal in Chicago.
Crane's Chicago Business?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Right. That's in Chicago. We have the Business Journal of record is anti-capitalism, anti-business. Also anti-small business, to be specific. Because the only problem Joe Cahill has with Lightfoot's proposal.
What?
What's always the problem?
They're not being taxed enough?
The problem in Illinois is always taxes are too low and not broad enough. Just as government is too small.
Oh.
That's always the problem. So thus the problem here, you could recoup significantly more from businesses if you extended the number of services to the subject to the sales tax to sort of the level that like in Indiana or in Iowa or Wisconsin are at. They apply sales tax to more services than we do. And so golly gee, if applying sales tax to some bigger white shoe companies is a good idea, why not apply it to all businesses, says Joe Cahill. The mayor's concern for mom and pop companies echoes a theme she's been sounding since the campaign, fairness towards everyday Chicagoans. But how is it fair to exempt mom and pop service businesses from sales tax paid by mom and pop merchandise businesses? Right. And don't tell me sales taxes would drive service providers out of business. Iowa still has barbers and Wisconsin still has dry cleaners. Well, they sure do, Joe. And they also have significantly lower cost of living and significantly overall state and local tax burden, but I know you don't want to address that. What's fair to Chicagoans, to all Chicagoans, Joe Cahill writes, is a broad-based tax structure that reflects economic reality and generates sufficient revenue growth to meet city obligations over the long term, because the problem in Chicago and the problem in Illinois continues to be strictly a revenue problem. That's what I say. The only problem with taxes in Chicago and Illinois,
we don't have enough.
Not enough of them. The ones we have are too low, and they're not expansive enough. And Lightfoot, in conjunction with the business community, is seeking to rectify that. And I, for one, applaud it. I think we should impose sales taxes, I don't know, 20%, 30%, 40%.
No, just go 50.
50%, fine. 50% sales tax across the board, all services. I also think that we should impose a city income tax. I say this as a Chicago resident. City income tax, I want that. I want it graduated, obviously, because I want $200,000 plus people to, finance everything, because that's how it works. And I would also like property taxes in Chicago to be graduated based on home value. If we could get that done, then we're talking about real revenue growth for the city.
We're cooking, man.
Cooking with fire, I'd say. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. I don't want to be mired in malaise like New Jersey. I want to be dynamic when it comes to government growth in Chicago and Illinois. And I reference New Jersey because look what happened to New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. Poor guy. Democrat there. He signed a state budget without the millionaire's tax that he's been advocating for 2 years because he can't get the New Jersey state legislature to realize that it's possible to run out of other people's money, as the Wall Street Journal opines, unlike Illinois or Connecticut, which they mention, those two states by name, who have realized that it is not possible to run out of other people's money. So Phil Murphy gets it. Obviously, Governor Spalding here gets it. The General Assembly here gets it. Lori Lightfoot gets it. The Illinois Chamber of Commerce gets it. They support those tax and fee increases, like the doubling of the state gas tax. The Anti-Business Business Journal gets it. Everybody gets it. So let's just get to it. What do you say?
I'm in.
All right. There it is.
Also, today, Lori Lightfoot's going to release her safety plan for the 4th of July.
It's perfect timing.
She's going to add 1,500 more police officers down near you, near Navy Pier and everything for the 4th of July, the big fireworks show.
Yeah.
And
sometimes I don't feel safe in Billy Goat.
Yeah, so she's going to hold a press conference right by the big Ferris wheel today.
Oh, good.
11:30.
So
today.
1,500 new police officers are going to be hired.
Her plan to keep the city safe. No, they're going to be assigned to.
Oh, they're going to be assigned.
Monitor huge crowds expected downtown.
Okay. Oh, right, for that food court on the lake.
Yeah, and there's also going to be more undercover officers on the streets, at beaches and parks, and at any planned events. So we'll be safe.
What about the deployment of police officers where people are getting shot and killed, like 60 people that got shot last weekend?
Yeah, well, 52 people shot, 4 killed, and there was more anger yesterday about the bean being graffitied than there was about people being shot. And I could not believe, Lori Lightfoot was out of her mind. She was just horrified because she received the call early in the morning, Dan, that the bean and the Maggie Daily cancer wall was tagged, and it really upset her.
It is unbelievably unacceptable for people to be defacing something like that.
Unbelievably unacceptable. But she went on to say that she was outraged that somebody would do that.
She's outraged.
And they even released the media, the mainstream media. They released the police call when this happened.
So there's 9 to 10 people spray painting the bean at Millennium Park.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Run! But tourists, I guess people come to the city to see the bean because tourists were upset.
That really makes me sad because, this is such a beautiful part of Chicago.
Yeah, it's sad.
My God, it's so sad.
It is just phenomenal.
and I feel so lucky just to be able to see it today.
Okay.
Seven people have been arrested. All adults. One teen. The rest are adults. 5 men, 2 women.
What did they tag it with? What does it say?
Graffiti
Lightfoot
sign.
for mayor.
No.
A graffiti sign. They made.
I mean, not a,
they
I'm sorry.
graffiti
a gang,
with a sign for
excuse me.
graffiti.
Sorry, gang sign. And I don't know
What gang?
I couldn't. Is something with an A, but then there's a lot of
Something
mixed
with
up.
an A.
The gang name. I don't want to say their gang name. I don't want
Like
to give
the
them
Jets or the
publicity.
Sharks or what?
No, it wasn't the Jets or the Shark. It wasn't the Crips or the Bloods. It wasn't. It was a new gang.
Oh, it's new. Well,
The-
they're coming on the scene. They didn't want to make a mark.
And they had, I mean, they caught him within minutes of them doing it. But the hyperbole, the just shock and awe of the bean has been defaced. And then if you look at it, it was just a little right-hand corner of the bean that they spray painted. Who cares?
That's great.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, why aren't we getting more support for the tax increases that I've proposed?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
I'm just trying to be bipartisan, folks. I know that's the calling card of our political culture, bipartisanship. I'm trying to be a team player. I'm trying to pay my fair share. Trying, not to be a racist. Trying to celebrate diversity. I'm trying to be woke.
You
I'm
are
trying.
so woke.
Here's the thing. I made this point, I don't know, once or twice or 400 times during the last election cycle. And it's sort of simple. If people don't care about their homes, then it's over. And we're going to find out in 2018, starting the primary, if people care about their home values. People care about the large investment they make, also the psychic value of where you drop anchor, where you establish roots, where you call home. It's not just financial, but it is also financial. Do you care? And the resounding answer is no. Okay. I hear you. I heard you. Like a good, political echo chamber. I heard you, and I'm reverberating it back to you. So it's over here. And there's no way around it. It's like the call that De Niro gets in Goodfellas. What do you mean he's gone? He's gone, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's Chicago. Chicago has, the only difference is Chicago put the gun in the back of their own head and pulled the trigger. And now we're sprawled out on the floor. Sorry for the violent metaphor, but it's appropriate for Chicago, isn't it? It is over here. You think 6 weeks in, you get the sense that Lori Lightfoot is going to be some sort of transformational leader? That's not the sense I'm getting.
No, and I've wanted to give her time, but this whole 4th of July safety plan.
Well,
meet me at the Navy Pier at 11:30.
It's pro forma. You're just managing the descent into oblivion.
But to even
so you're doing the pro forma stuff, and I mean, I understand. Like I understand that her and her wife are like the best backcourt since
Amy.
DJ
Her
and
name
Ainge.
is Amy.
I get it. She was a point guard, and she was a small forward, and together they make a great team, or whatever. And I get that. The only thing that matters that she's is her race and her sexual orientation. I get it all. I got it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do the pro forma box checking stuff that ensures the continuing decay of the city and the state, because the same thing's happening at the state level too. It's an overlay. Let me give you an example of what I mean, though, when I say that people don't care. The majority is established, and they've sent the clear message they don't care about their home value. If Illinois would have seen home appreciation in the last decade at the national average, just the national average, Illinois homeowners would be $270 billion wealthier. This analysis comes from WirePoints, wirepoints.org, which if you're not reading, you should. It's about the only organization doing good analytical policy work in the state. $269 billion. That's about $66,000 per home. Your home would have appreciated $66,000 more than it did in the last decade if Illinois would have just kept pace with home appreciation from the depths of the bubble bursting to present. Is that a significant number for you? And of course that's, median. According to Adam Data Solutions, 16% of Illinois homes are seriously underwater, meaning that the mortgage balance is more than 25% above the estimated home value. And what has destroyed home equity and home value? Highest property taxes in the nation. What have you said at the ballot box?
That you want to keep it going.
Double down, baby.
Yep.
The one thing that wasn't addressed, the one tax that wasn't addressed in this last session of the Illinois General Assembly, 21 new taxes and fees, $5 billion in additional tax burdens, property taxes. But everybody was bipartisan about the tax and fee increases. Can't seem to get bipartisanship on property tax relief. Really, institutional change in how we do property taxation is what's required. And so you don't care about, but the overriding takeaway, you don't care about your home value. You don't care about your home. You don't care if the government liquidates your home to finance seven-figure net present value pensions for public sector workers. You've said that, and I've heard you, and I agree. I agree that that's your view. I understand your view, I should say, and that's why it's over. So I'm not going to try to fight City Hall. I'm going to lean in. Service tax, bigger, better, can't be too big, can't be too expansive. Graduate every tax. Increase every tax. Grow government. Sweeten the pensions. Take a holiday. Do it all, and do it all at the same time.
4-day work weeks.
Whatever. Absolutely.
Yeah.
$15 minimum wage, $50 minimum wage, $100 minimum wage. Minimum guaranteed income of $100,000. Whatever you want to do. Why so stingy? That's my new position. Why so stingy? We have a government to fund. That's what we're here to do. We have seven-figure pensions that are not being seven-figure net present value guaranteed pensions that are not being afforded every public sector worker. Every public sector worker should have one, as I've said. How much should we spend per pupil K through 12 education? Blank check. Whatever it is now, I'll double it. All we have to do, graduate those property taxes, graduate the state income tax, impose a city income tax. That LaSalle Street tax, get rid of the exchanges. They've had their run here. Get rid of them. Financial transactions tax for the exchanges downtown. I mean, look, Comrade Bernie, Bolshevik B, running for president, that's what he's going to do to finance free college. Why can't we lead the way here? Do it all. Do it all at the same time before people can escape. Right? Scooter on the south side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I was just wondering, Kim Fox, is she going to prosecute these gang members? Or maybe because they're new gang members, they don't have to be prosecuted? Slap on the wrist?
As a newly sanctioned gang, Scooter, your first tagging incident is free. That's how they get you into this.
That's how they rope you in, and then you can't leave.
Chris in Evanston.
Hey, guys. I hate to be so old as to remember this, but, it was under Matt Rodriguez that the Chicago Police Department decided to allow tagging in the loop for 100 years since the riots of 1919. There were no gang activities like this, kid gang activities, allowed downtown. And as soon as Rodriguez made that concession to the gang guys, you started seeing tagging all over the loop. And that is exactly what has led to the kind of behavior that we're seeing in the loop today. And if people want to fully integrate a position or a view of Chicago, you don't just go to the Bean, but imagine the Bean with the bodies of all of the people. Right? Dan, you were being pretty graphic there. Imagine the Bean surrounded by however many folks lost their lives last year.
Well, that'd be an art
last
piece.
weekend.
That'd be an art piece, wouldn't it be? Yeah.
That would be performance art. Get people in there to lay down for 15 minutes or so, and begin to show the imbalance between political correctness on the one hand and creating a safe and secure environment. And that's the only environment in which the kind of, safe for Joe Cahill to raise our taxes, I guess that's what we're all here for.
Right, exactly. Thanks
Sorry,
for the call.
thank you.
Thanks for the call, Chris. I'd take that artistic presentation over the ceramic cows coming back. Another idea, we've got more taxing ideas coming in. Good stuff from 847. You're not being creative enough. Tax people getting shot graduated by caliber. The caliber of the bullet they're shot with.
Right.
I like that. Sure. Bob in Buffalo Grove.
Thanks for taking my call, Dan and Amy. For you, Dan, you travel to Kennedy every day to work. Have you noticed the increase in the graffiti along the retaining walls? I drove in the other day, and it just seems to me there's more graffiti, and then it amazes me where the gangbangers or wherever can get up on the bridges and spray paint on the bridges.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Bob. There are a lot of retired gymnasts.
Oh, that's
that
right.
join gangs. Here's the thing about that. The only way we're going to discover the next Banksy is if we let these budding young artists ply their trade. So I'm all for it. The Bean, the retaining walls, billboards, the Trump Tower, all of it. I think it's just, I think you got to let these crazy cats, these like Clockwork Orange, little bands of youngsters do their thing, and then just see what happens.
And they can't buy their spray paint in the city. It's illegal.
Oh, good.
So they have to go to the suburbs to get it. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I think shooting people is still illegal, too. That doesn't seem to stop it. Julie Royce, she'll join us, Christian author, speaker, blogger, podcaster, host of The Royce Report, Sundays at 7 p.m. on these airwaves. That's at 7:07.
But first, let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Recovering from overnight storms, Lightfoot outraged that the Bean is vandalized. Body pulled from the Chicago River ID'd as a missing man. The Bulls signed Arcidiacono, Pirates topped the Cubs, and the White Sox and Tigers rained out. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
You won't be asked if you're an American or not. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The 2020 census is moving forward without that controversial question. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, the Trump administration is foregoing its effort to add a citizenship question after being blocked by the U.S. Supreme Court last week. After the ruling, President Trump said he would ask lawyers whether the census could be delayed as a deadline loomed for the forms to be printed. The High Court sent the census fight back to a lower court, which is reviewing evidence that opponents say cast doubt on the administration's motive for adding the question. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross issued a statement saying he strongly disagrees with the Supreme Court ruling, but respects it. Dave?
Well, Rachel, there was another setback in court for the president.
A federal judge blocking a Trump administration policy that would keep asylum seekers detained. The policy announced by Attorney General William Barr in April would deny a bond hearing to asylum seekers with a credible fear of persecution if returned to the places from which they fled. The lawsuit to stop the policy was filed by the ACLU and other immigrants' rights advocates who accused the Attorney General of trying to upend the nation's immigration courts.
Fox's Sean Langell, a Justice Department appeal is expected amid all the Democrat anger over the overcrowded conditions at detention facilities for illegal immigrants in Texas.
There are new images depicting what's going on directly from the Inspector General with the Department of Homeland Security. That office calling for immediate action using the words, quote, dangerous situation. The images show dozens of young adults and children cramped together in detention rooms. One of the captions reads, quote, standing room only from that report.
Fox's David Spunt in Libya. An airstrike hit a detention center for migrants, killing at least 44, wounding more than 100. The government there blames a group that calls itself the Libyan National Army, urging the UN to investigate. Meanwhile, Iran is warning European countries still signed on to that international nuclear deal the U.S. pulled out of last year. It'll enrich uranium to any amount it wants. This is Fox News.
Skies are becoming partly sunny, 69 degrees. There is some fog in the area this morning, and high humidities at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Because of the training storms, the heavy, powerful storms that dropped intense rain over the area last night and into the overnight hours, there is a flood warning that has just been posted for the Illinois River at LaSalle, impacting Bureau, LaSalle, and Putnam counties. We'll track that for you throughout the day. Meantime, flooding rains brought torrents to the Stevenson Expressway, Westmont, Clarendon Hills, and Hinsdale. Flash flood watches were posted for our area until about 12:30 this morning. 3 men are in critical condition following a crash on Chicago's southwest side. A man driving early this morning ran a red light, slammed into a viaduct in the 3900 block of Southwestern Avenue. Authorities have identified the woman killed in a shooting in Long Grove. Lake County sheriffs say Barbara Powers was arguing with her husband inside of their home when she retrieved a gun from an upstairs bedroom. She fired a shot at her husband, but missed. The couple was then struggling over the gun when it went off and a bullet hit Powers in the head. The husband was questioned, but later released without charges. Mayor Lightfoot outraged after the Bean was vandalized in Millennium Park. Lightfoot says it's unacceptable for people to deface something so iconic. Charges are pending against 7 who were arrested early yesterday after the graffiti was spray painted on the sculpture. The graffiti has since been removed. Officials say U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents at O'Hare thwarted a man's attempt to import several pounds of African rat meat. 32 pounds of meat was declared on June 26 when that flight arrived from the Ivory Coast. The meat was confiscated and destroyed. The man will not face a fine because he was honest about what he was bringing into the country. Customs officials prohibit the entry of African meat to prevent the spread of swine fever. Pirates over the Cubs 5-1. Sox and Tigers were rained out last night at guaranteed rate. Cubs series continues with Pittsburgh tonight while the Sox have a doubleheader. And look out, another highly touted right-hander is up with the big club. Dylan Cease makes his Major League debut today. The News is a service of Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. With more than 6,000 hotels across the country, including La Quinta Days Inn and Super 8, a great hotel by Wyndham is closer than you think. Find one near you and book direct at wyndhamhotels.com. 7:04. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You're listening to AM 560, The Answer, home of 7 of the top 100 radio talk hosts in America, according to Talkers Magazine. Congratulations to Joe Walsh.
I like that.
Larry Elder.
How do you do that?
Dennis Prager.
It should be obvious.
Sebastian Gorka.
That's very interesting.
Hugh Hewitt.
I got you already.
Mike Gallagher.
Honest to goodness.
And the #1 talk show host in the country, Sean Hannity.
This is a little bit overboard.
The top talkers in America are talking right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Individual results may vary. Exclusions apply.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just call 1-800-500-0251. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, call 1-800-500-0251. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's 1-800-500-0251.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving. Built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Do it right to spruce up your outdoors by shopping Lowe's July 4 savings. You'll find great deals in store like 5 bags of premium mulch now for just $10. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Valid in store only through 7/10 while supplies last. U.S. only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It is 7:07 AM 560 Traffic Center time, and here is Jim Telemonte.
The inbound Kennedy is a watery mess right downtown at the Burns Circle. There's standing water across all the lanes, backing up traffic. It is just jammed solid from Irving Park to the Circle. We're looking at an hour and 9 minutes, so here to downtown, 54 minutes from Montrose, 42 in the express lanes, but outbound just 31 minutes downtown to the airport. Edens, 19 minutes, Lake Cook to the Junction. The Eisenhower, 58 minutes, 390 to downtown, 37 from Manheim. Stevenson, 57 minutes, 355 to the Drive. Ryan, 34 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the Merge Bishopford, 40. The northbound Tri-State ramp to the westbound Reagan Tollway is flooded. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Some breaks of sun, shower and thunderstorm today, high 87. A shower and thunderstorm this evening, low tonight 72. Partly sunny tomorrow, shower and thunderstorm. Those storms can be slow moving, bring some heavy rain, high 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
70 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and this is interesting. We talked to Cheryl Atkinson about this gentleman, Larry Sanger, co-founder of Wikipedia. We talked to her about him on Monday because of her experience with Wikipedia and the Wikipedia minders distorting her biography online. Well, Larry Sanger is calling for a 2-day hashtag social media strike from the 4th of July, tomorrow through Friday, in the name of privacy protection as part of an effort to pressure the networks, social media networks, into restoring control of personal data to users. We will not use social media in those days except to post notices that we are on strike, Sanger writes, trying to raise this issue. He is also the author of the Declaration of Digital Independence, which advocates for the decentralization of big social media. And he's asking for digital dissenters to sign that declaration and strike with him over the next 2 days to send a message to the man or the men that control the big social media companies. A related story is sort of interesting. Tyler Cohen, he's the econ professor at George Mason University, does the Marginal Revolution blog, which is very good. He has a piece in Bloomberg suggesting one way to improve the social media culture or the culture on these platforms, get an education. Internet 101 should be a required class. Mm-hmm. If Americans agree on anything these days, writes Cohen, it's our schools could be much better and that internet culture is harming our children. I have a simple proposal. High school classes on how to use the internet more effectively. He
followed up by a common sense course.
Well, he writes, students, indeed adults, could be taught how to use social media more productively. Twitter, for example, tends to be irritating and polarizing when used to express political views, but it's wonderful for following music and the arts, as well as events in other countries.
And learning about your friends.
Well, okay, sure.
Oh, yeah. Everything I know about you, Dan, I know from Twitter. And the Instagram now.
But Colin's takeaway is it's striking and sad. There's so much over-the-top criticism of social media, yet so little faith in education as a possible remedy. Can we educate our way out of some of these travails, both with respect to privacy concerns as well as with respect to censorship concerns? This brings us to Eric Cochran. He's the Pinterest whistleblower. He is the individual who has gone public to suggest that Pinterest is purposely censoring pro-life organizations and pro-life messages on that platform. Specifically, Live Action is one of the organizations he mentioned, and Cochran described this in an interview with Julie Royce, who we'll be speaking to in a moment.
Lots of conservatives and Christians and pro-lifers and other anti-establishment people in the culture right now and outside of Silicon Valley have been saying, hey, like, I'm seeing a lot of stuff go wrong. Like, my content doesn't get a lot of the views it used to. Like, what's going on? And then it's been like, oh, well, it's a fluke, or, oh, it's a bug.
Right.
But then now, as seen in this Pinterest story from the documents that I leaked, and now in more of these insider stories that Project Veritas is coming out with, you're seeing the actual proof, the hard proof from the back end that the tech companies are not denying, with the actual reasons why this content is being censored and how it's being censored on the back end from these tech companies.
And there's another interesting excerpt from that interview, something we didn't get from the interview that James O'Keefe did with that Google whistleblower whose voice and identity was distorted. Probably we didn't get an answer to this question because that would have revealed who he was, and he didn't want to do that. Eric Cochran, not so inhibited. Why did he come forward? Why is he blowing this whistle?
I really do think that, yeah, like, God put me in this place to do this thing, and I think that's part of why, like, there was no hesitation, that I knew this had to be done. And because if I didn't do it, there'd just be this bystander effect. Like, who else was going to do it? I was put in this place for this reason, to do this, to let people know about this. And again, like, at the end of the day, like, am I just going to be ashes? Like, will I have done what I was put here to do?
Great questions for us all to remember. We're pleased to be joined now for more on this interview and this topic by Julie Royce. She's a Christian author, speaker, blogger, podcaster, the host of The Royce Report, Sunday at 7 p.m. on these airwaves, AM 560. Her interview with Pinterest whistleblower Eric Cochran will air this Saturday at 11 a.m. on WYLL, our sister station. That's AM 1160. And then Sunday at 7 p.m. on AM 560. Julie, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, well, glad to be with you. Thanks for having me.
In addition to those excerpts that we played in terms of what motivated Eric Cochran to blow the whistle and the substance of what he was blowing the whistle on, what were some of the key takeaways from his experience that maybe can be paid forward with respect to social media?
Yeah, well, it's almost like if you've read the novel 1984, where there's sort of a dystopian view of society where you've got a ministry of truth that controls the people by controlling all the information. Eric Cochran said that's what's going on right now with these big tech companies. And it's not just Pinterest. It's Google, who, as you referenced, Project Veritas just came up with a whistleblower there who disguised his voice and everything. But saying, yeah, Google's doing it. Of course, Google owns YouTube. YouTube's doing it. Vimeo's doing it. All of these companies are censoring, and they're all censoring content according to what they think is fair, what they think the vision of America should be. So, for example, they don't think it's fair that Donald Trump got elected president. They're sure that the American people just got bad information. So if they curate the information just right, the American people will vote the way that these enlightened people at the top of these tech companies think, that we'll think just like they think. Or, for example, it's not fair that a woman shouldn't be able to abort her unborn child up until the moment that baby comes out of the birth canal. That's not fair. But if they give us the information and only the information that they curate, we'll begin thinking like they do. And it's un-American. It's scary. It's a complete violation of what they say they're doing. They say they're a neutral platform. In truth, they're really publishers with editorial boards that are extremely liberal extremely anti-Christian, extremely anti-anything conservative. And so this is really what made Eric Cochran say, I can't just sit back and not say anything. I need to blow the whistle. And so that's what he did. And interestingly, so he blows the whistle on Pinterest, goes to Project Veritas, and they make this video. Project Veritas puts that video up on YouTube. YouTube takes it down. Vimeo takes it down,
Right.
Essentially proving exactly what he's saying, that they're all in cahoots together and they're all into censoring content.
And is Eric Cochran solid with his decision to be the whistleblower? Does he have any regrets?
Yeah, he's really solid on it. I mean, he initially came out with a disguised voice and, the big hood and sort of darkened face so that you can't tell who he is. But they found out within days, and he was fired. And he said, I knew it was going to happen. I knew I was going to probably get fired. And he was prepared for that. And he's like, my life's an adventure right now. It's taken a totally different turn. But he believes that this is what God wanted him to do. And so, we kind of joked about him being on a mission from God like the Blues Brothers, right? But he does feel like this is what he was put here to do. He did it, and now he doesn't know where his life's going to go next. I mean, he was a software engineer up pretty high, giving conferences around the world, I guess, informing people on how to use software and different things. But he doesn't know where he's going to land exactly. But he's confident that he did the right thing.
Well, maybe we need to get these inside men who blew the whistle all together and form another social media company that actually adheres to the values that these social media companies say they do, but don't, as you're describing. I mean, you got James Damore, you got people that escaped from Facebook, you've got Eric Cochran. You got this guy from Google that James O'Keefe just interviewed recently. Maybe there's an idea there of bring all that talent together for to build a bigger, better, freer platform.
Well, and apparently that's being proposed. Jordan Peterson, you're familiar with him?
Yeah.
And a conservative voice from Canada, and he's got quite a following. He's beginning to say this, that if conservatives don't band together and develop their own platforms, there's going to be no place for conservatives. And so this needs to be done. But I think another takeaway here, and Eric and I talked about this because we're both been whistleblowers. I lost the job for blowing the whistle. And I just asked him, how many conservatives or Christians, because again, this is a lot of anti-Christian bias that he was talking about as well. How many conservatives and Christians are in these big tech companies? And he's like, oh my goodness, there's thousands. I mean, Google alone employs 100,000 people. He said, there's plenty of them. And I said, do they see it? He's like, yeah, you can't be there and not see it. And I just asked him, what would happen if everybody, instead of going along to get along, actually blew the whistle and stood up and grew a backbone? What would happen? And he's like, oh, they'd instantly have to stop the censorship. There would be a huge uproar, in the country. And Congress would have to investigate because it would be clear that they're violating exactly their own principles. So I think that's one of the takeaways is that people need to stand up and say something.
Well, that's always the case. But I mean, you see this. This is like, so one of the problems with what Tyler Cohen proposed that I just referenced before you joined us about teaching an Internet 101 class. He sort of is making that proposal in a vacuum because he doesn't really answer the question or address the problem. Well, who's teaching the class? I mean, you have the same dynamic in K through 12 public education as you do at these big tech companies. You have decidedly one viewpoint, and any other viewpoint that runs afoul of it is increasingly marginalized, including at the K through 12 level. So there's not much use in teaching a course designed to further a single agenda and essentially advance the same culture in K through 12 that you see playing out in social media companies.
Oh, absolutely, and especially if it's going to be taught in public schools. I mean, we know all the teacher colleges in America have been taken over by Bill Ayers now is a big education proponent. They're reading his books in these teacher colleges. Linda Darling Hammond. I mean, all these far leftists from the 60s are now educating our teachers. So if you think education, especially in the public schools, is going to be the way to fix this, all that will do is probably further the narrative. I don't think that's a solution at all.
So you said that you were a whistleblower. Can you tell us your story?
Sure. Yeah, about 18 months ago, I was actually working at the Moody Bible Institute, and I Saw some wrongdoing going on there. For example, the president of the institute was given a $500,000 loan to buy $1 million condo, and he's what some would call a disqualified person because he sits on the board, and you're not supposed to give loans to disqualified people. That's an IRS no-no. Right. But there were other things going on as far as being true to their doctrine. For example, the doctrine of inerrancy of Scripture. There were some there who were espousing things that seemed to be contrary to that. Yet when they bring that to the administration wouldn't come down on the person who's erring as far as fidelity to the doctrine. They would come down on the whistleblower or the person that's complaining about it. And so I came to the point where I felt like here I was a journalist. I happened to be in this position where I had this information, a lot of the professors coming to me with it, and I felt like it was a matter of conscience. I had to steward this information in a responsible way. And I first went to the trustees hoping they would do something. But when it became clear to me that they were actually in cahoots with the administration, then I felt like, that's a time when you have to go public. And so I published about it, and the top 3 officers were removed from Moody. It's got a new administration now. I'm actually hopeful for the Institute. But as a result of doing that, I didn't get a thank you. I got fired, and that's actually what happened. But that's okay. Your life takes a little different direction, and I had a radio show on Moody Radio. Now I have a radio show on WYLL and WIND. So
there you go.
It turned out okay.
There you go. It's funny how things turn out okay when you err on the side of doing the right thing. She is Julie Royce. She's a Christian author, speaker, blogger, podcaster, host of the Royce Report, Sunday, 7 p.m. on these airwaves, AM 560. Her interview that we were just referencing, you heard clips from, with Pinterest whistleblower Eric Cochran will air Saturday at 11 a.m. on our sister station, WYLL, AM 1160. Sunday at 7 p.m. on AM 560, these airwaves. Julie, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having us. Have a great July 4th.
You too.
You too. Thanks, Julie. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Deb, I'm so done with today. Traffic was awful. I couldn't stop for coffee. I have conference calls all morning, plus all these reports to go through. And look, it's 75 and sunny, and I'm stuck in here.
Relax. It's going to be an awesome day. Corporate is throwing a picnic in the parking lot for lunch, and they ordered tasty catering.
What? Did I miss the memo?
Apparently. It's going to be great. They got burgers, grilled chicken, sides, the works. Tasty Catering's picnic food is excellent.
Oh, yeah, I know. We had them for our holiday party.
Today, they're bringing out the Make Your Own Burger Creation Station. They have everything you can think of, like sriracha, blue cheese crumbles, bacon, sautéed mushrooms, and caramelized onions. And they serve it straight off the grill, the way a great burger should be.
Okay, maybe there's still hope for today. I just hope I don't spill mustard on this new tie. Good thing I've got my bib.
You have a bib?
You don't?
Tasty Catering's picnic menu has all the delicious summertime food favorites you crave and more. Go to tastycatering.com to peruse mouth-watering picnic menus and start planning your picnic today. tastycatering.com.
Hey, the recent rain has been keeping our friends at Permasail very busy, and everyone with a leaky basement, dead sump pump, or flooded crawl space needs their help. And while it's tempting to choose the first waterproofer that offers a quick fix, I can tell you personally that Permasail is worth the wait. They offer permanent solutions with lifetime transferable warranties and a price assurance guarantee. So give them a call today at 800-421-SEAL. Their professional consultants will inspect your foundation inside and out and provide a free written estimate. There is no need to worry about playing let's make a deal, as Permasail provides standardized pricing that's simply the best value in the industry. For over 40 years, Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana homeowners have trusted Permasail for expert advice, quality products, and the greatest value. The next time you hear storms rolling in, wouldn't it be nice to have the peace of mind that comes with a dry basement or crawl space? You know who to call. Permasail, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325. Or simply go to permaseal.net.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details. Need cash now? Seems like the more you need something, the harder it is to get, especially when you need it fast. Have you been turned down for a personal loan? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? One of the nation's largest personal loan networks, GetCash.com, is the place to go when you need money fast. All you need is a checking account and a regular source of income. And you could get up to $5,000 discreetly with your computer or smartphone in as little as 24 hours. There's no paperwork needed to get connected. At GetCash.com, our lenders have lent hundreds of millions of dollars to people just like you. And now, you could get up to $5,000 deposited in your account as soon as tomorrow, regardless of your credit history. Get the cash you need fast at GetCash.com. That's GetCash.com. GetCash.com.
Oh, summer is here. It is hot and humid, and maybe you're feeling a little run down. And you're definitely not getting enough fruits and veggies at all those summer barbecues, hot dogs, beer, brats, burgers. You need to do what I started doing, and that's taking Balance of Nature. Your body needs fruits and vegetables. In a single capsule of Balance of Nature, you're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. It really is just that easy and convenient. And if you listen to the station, then you've heard people talk about Balance of Nature and how it's changed their lives, and it could do the same for you. So start living a healthier life today by taking Balance of Nature. And now through July 4th, which is in 2 days, or no, tomorrow, you can receive a 30% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. And you'll also receive an extra $10 off any additional set of fruits and veggies. So call the number 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or go to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy. Amy, this is a story close to your heart.
Is it about dogs?
You're a competitive eating fan. You're a bit of a competitive eating chaser. You dated competitive eaters.
Yeah, I was a bit of a groupie.
Yeah.
That's what we called. That's the girls in my sorority.
Sure.
They dubbed me as a competitive eater groupie because I'd go to the contest just to support them and let them know that you can do this, buddy. Eat that.
Physically support them. Yeah. This is an interesting note because, the 4th of July brings
don't they have the hot dog?
Nathan's hot dog eating contest, right? Joey Chestnut, of course, is a many-time champion.
He's actually been on the show a few times, believe it or not. He's
Sure.
called in. We've invited him. And
I'm sure.
he told us his technique. And
you probably invited him
wet the
out
dog
for a movie.
First. Well, you got to wet the dog.
He won for the 11th time last year by
a dog?
Consuming a Coney Island record 74 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
Ah. Do they puke afterwards? I did ask him that, and he said he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't binge and purge, if you know what I mean.
When asked about his win last year,
what
the question, how much weight do you gain eating that much that fast? Isn't that an interesting question?
Yeah. So what, a pound? 2 pounds? 5?
24 pounds.
Oh!
Could you imagine gaining 24 pounds in 10 minutes?
That's pretty good, dear.
Mickey Sudo.
Oh, I love Mickey Sudo.
She's Chestnut's top female competitor. She said she puts on 16 pounds per contest.
What? That's so gross.
It's a sport that's captivating America. It's more popular than soccer.
Oh,
that's
okay,
for sure.
easy.
So
Sunday's the soccer final.
24 pounds in 10 minutes. Hot dog eating contest in Coney Island. In a related story, the Sheboygan cereal toilet clogger has been caught.
All right, what's that story?
We talked about this with Mike Chase yesterday about these laws against.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
right?
It's in National Park. If you clog up a toilet, you could spend 3 months in jail.
Something like that. Yeah. 35-year-old Sheboygan man, not Joey Chestnut, though I'm sure he clogs up a few toilets as well.
Especially after his competitions.
He was sentenced to 3 months of probation and 150 days in jail for clogging women's toilets in Deland Park. He was originally charged with 12 misdemeanors of criminal damage to property. Do not go in there.
How would he clog the toilets? Oh, okay.
Do I need to be graphic? No, in point of fact, you know how he did it?
What? Did he use a T-shirt or toilet paper roll?
He would use plastic bottles and then have the toilet overflow.
And then flush. Oh, yeah. Shove the bottle in there and then flush the toilet.
The assailant told police he gets urges to do odd things.
Okay.
Like look for bottles in the garbage to plug toilets.
Okay, see, that's
weird. Sure, it's an illness. It's an addiction. Although the addiction stopped when he heard police were investigating why this kept happening. And And they nabbed the toilet clogger. So Sheboygan is a little bit safer
Thank
and
goodness.
drier today. Well done, Sheboygan PD.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll turn to all things economy related, including state of play with China. Our recurring topic with Steve Moore at 7:37.
And poor Pete, Mayor Pete. He went to a party and nobody came. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 70 degrees. Flood warnings are up for the Illinois River, impacting LaSalle, Putnam, and Bureau counties. Power outages are scattered across the state from the Quad Cities all the way to northwest Indiana after flooding rains brought torrents to the Stevenson Expressway, Westmont, Clarendon Hills, and Hinsdale. Gusty winds and downpours tracked over the area until midnight. An airstrike hit a detention center for migrants near the Libyan capital early this morning, killing at least 44 and wounding more than 130. Iran's president warning European partners in its faltering nuclear deal that Tehran will increase its uranium enrichment to any amount we want, beginning on Sunday. Comments come from President Hassan Rouhani as tensions remain high over the U.S. pullout of that deal. The Navy SEAL accused of war crimes has been found not guilty of murder and attempted murder. Edward Gallagher's wife, Andrea, cheered that verdict.
This vindication, I hope, will be a lesson learned to everybody that we need to uphold innocent until proven guilty, due process, and we need to afford the benefit of the doubt to our war heroes who we send over there to fight these evils.
Gallagher denied all charges. John Hickenlooper's Democratic presidential campaign may be on its last legs. Former Colorado governor shook up his campaign staff this week and has struggled to raise money. He then countered that it was simply the right time to make a change.
These campaigns are long, hard campaigns, and you don't always get it right with the first team.
Politico says Hickenlooper's senior staff urged him actually to withdraw last month and consider a run for Senate. 3 men are in critical condition following a crash on Chicago's southwest side in the 3900 block of Southwestern Avenue. Chicago Police Union is demanding a special prosecutor to replace Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox in any case involving officers. A suburban Chicago man wanted in a crash that killed 2 women was apprehended on board a charter bus. Authorities say it was traveling to Texas and eventually to Guatemala. Victor Ortiz of Round Lake Beach is facing aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol and reckless homicide charges stemming from the June 8 crash. Pirates over the Cubs 5-1. Sox and Tigers rained out. The news a service of Sherwin-Williams. Ask Sherwin-Williams June 21st through July 8th and save 30% on paint stains with sale prices starting at $26.94. Only at your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. See store for details. Some exclusions apply. 7:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is astonished by Joe Biden.
Can you fathom how desperate you have to be as a presidential candidate who sees your front-running status kind of evaporating? It's like sand through his fingers. And he literally said, when I'm president, we'll cure cancer.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Stuck in an expensive timeshare contract and feel like there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO of Wesley Financial Group. I've helped thousands of people get rid of their timeshares.
I didn't realize what I was getting into. The whole thing was just a scam. I finally found information on Chuck, and he agreed to meet us. It was just a wonderful experience because he knows that business inside out, and he actually wanted to solve our problem.
I fought the largest timeshare company in federal court, and yes, I won. Whether you owe $10,000 to $250,000 on your timeshare, we can help cancel your mortgage. When you're approved as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, eliminate your payments, and get them off of your back permanently. And we proudly hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call Wesley Financial Group now for your free consultation at 1-800-462-3333. That's 1-800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Individual results may vary. Exclusions apply.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just call 1-800-500-0251. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, call 1-800-500-0251. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's 1-800-500-0251.
It's Health Quest Radio, Chicagoland's longest-running health, news, and science show with your host, Dr. David Kolbaba.
You know, people who age slower live longer. It's our dirt cheap age analysis assessment. We can compare your biologic age with your chronologic age to determine how fast you're aging. Just a few seconds to safely scan for those advanced glycation end products that cause premature aging. And I'll pay for your first assessment. That's right, your first one is free. Then we'll give you a few things to do and retest in 60 days. It's our dirt cheap age analysis assessment. But you gotta call our Health Quest radio hotline at 800-794-1855. That's 800-794-1855. First one free if you make that call right now. Some conditions and restrictions do apply. It's our dirt cheap age analysis assessment. Call 800-794-1855. It's Health Quest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Saturday morning at 11.
7:38, a check on the roads. AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim Telemonte.
All right, now the inbound Kennedy is basically a parking lot from Irving Park to the Burns Circle, where there's high standing water across all the lanes, slowing traffic there, which gets through but very slowly. It is an hour and 15 minutes slog from O'Hare to downtown, an hour and 5 minutes from Montrose, 56 minutes in the express lanes as crews try to pump that water out. The outbound travel time is 31 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Eisenhower, 58 minutes, 390 to downtown, 37 from Manhunt. Stevenson, 57 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 34 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 40 minutes traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Clouds are breaking for sunshine this morning. Warm and humid this afternoon with a shower or thunderstorm as we head to the overnight hours. A high of 87 and a low of 72 overnight. 70 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So President Trump sat down with Tucker Carlson the other day for an extended interview. This after he met with a little buddy, North Korea.
Little roly-poly.
President Trump updating us of sorts on the state of play with China and trade.
What we're going to do is they're going to buy a lot of farm product. We're not going to increase tariffs at this moment, and we'll see what happens with the negotiation. But we had a very good meeting.
So we've been hearing that for a while, but you did have that statement coming on the heels of small but substantive steps away from confrontation with the, opening of the supply chain to Huawei for all intents and purposes, and the expression that China would be upping their purchase of U.S. ag goods. So is that a sign that the end of the tariff escalation is near? Well, why don't we ask our friend Steve Moore, noted economist, Wall Street Journal columnist, New Trier grad. Steve Moore, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy Independence Day to you, sir. So, where are we with China, do you think?
Well, we're in good shape, I think. A lot better shape than I thought we were, a month ago. And it looks like they are going to cut a deal. And I think it's not going to be a great deal, but, it's going to open up some of the markets for American products over in China, which is something Trump has really been asking for. I was a little surprised that he gave up so much on Huawei, because Huawei was the big chip that he had, obviously. And, it sounded like that was the number one thing that China wanted to resolve, because that's their biggest company. That's their Google. And they can't allow that company to suffer billions of dollars of losses. But all in all, I'm happy about the state of affairs, and I think that this means that Trump is going to be pretty home free on the economy now going into 2020 election. I could see 3 to 4% growth next year with no trade war lingering. And that happens, Dan and Amy, I think you're talking about, Trump winning a pretty solid re-election. I mean, I think he could win.
What about a second round of tax cuts?
Sorry?
What, a second round of tax cuts?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm sure Trump would like to do some more. There's a lot of talk right now about indexing capital gains taxes. Capital gains tax is not indexed for inflation. So if you buy a stock for, say, shares of stocks for $30,000, and then, 7 years later there were 60,000, but 10,000 of that is inflation, you have to pay taxes on the inflation gain. And there is some talk in the White House of basically saying, well, the gain is actually what you made after inflation, not inflation, and that would reduce the tax on stock transactions, and that would be positive for the economy. But look, I mean, if you think about it this way, we've had the tax cut, which has been hugely important to the economy. We've done the deregulation. We've got a very pro-business atmosphere out there right now, and then the trade war, I always thought, was like the one big black cloud on the horizon. You put that aside, I'm not buying into any of this talk about a recession on the horizon. I just what would cause a recession? You've got a really positive, low interest rates, low inflation, low taxes, less regulation. It's a beautiful, beautiful environment for Trump to run re-election. And I think he made a strategic decision to put aside some of his beef with China, because he didn't get a lot out of this deal. He got some concessions, but China didn't make major concessions. But it puts aside this trade dispute until after the 2020 election. I think. Now, this is not a done deal, and obviously there's a big difference between what China says they're going to do and what they actually do.
Now, we've got the ADP report just came out in terms of June employment. Revised May job creation up from 27,000 to 41,000. Still a bad month, but nonetheless.
Sorry, what was that revision? I couldn't quite hear what you said.
From 27,000 in May to 41,000, so revised up a bit.
You mean the jobs?
Yeah, job numbers. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's still not a great number. But we got a big jobs report on Friday.
Right,
on July 5th. Are you guys going to be working on July 5th?
Sure
no,
we are.
but we'll talk about it on July 8th or whatever. But
because I will be on Fox with Maria Bartiromo when that jobs report comes out, so we'll be talking about that. But that's an important one. And look, the economy has slowed down a bit this summer, no question about it. Factory orders are down, trucking, shipments are down from where they were. I mean, it's not. It's hugely negative, but it's not as strong as it was in the spring when we had a 3%, 3.1% growth. So, but I open the papers every morning and I see, this economist, that economist, all your good friends, Dan, say, the recession is right around the corner. Did you know this recovery we are in right now? This is worth celebrating. Actually, it's something that makes you proud to be an American. That we are now the recovery began officially in June of 2009. From the Great Recession. And here we are in July of 2019. So the recovery is now 10 years old. That's, I believe, the longest uninterrupted, recovery in at least, since the Great Depression. So we're living in a pretty prosperous era right now.
Yeah, exactly, which is why crackerjack states like Illinois should gird their loins for when we have a downturn.
You're the sore thumb in
exactly.
the picture. And it's just sad. I mean, I hear that now people are paying higher gas taxes.
Oh, yeah, doubled.
I know the Democrats promised they weren't going to raise taxes on middle-class people. I guess they don't think middle-class people drive cars.
Steve, you don't understand Illinois economics. Taxes are job creators. Tax increases create jobs.
Governor Pritzker said, and I'm not kidding you, he said that the gas tax, doubling of it, the revenue of that is going to go to infrastructure, which
plan,
is going
right?
to bring companies to Illinois. Since if we have paved highways, people are going to move their companies.
We're finally paving our roads in Illinois, so it's going to be that much more
but what it
attractive.
does mean is when the companies leave Illinois, they're going to fill up their tanks when they get over the Illinois border.
Yeah.
No, people are
inside
driving.
Illinois.
Yeah.
By
And
the way,
they'll have a
Indiana,
nicer drive out, too.
I don't know if you guys have been following the numbers, but Indiana is doing great these days, and Indiana has so profited from the stupidity of Illinois. I mean, you've got a lot of companies that now have and homeowners who actually live in Indiana, even though a lot of them do business in the Chicago area.
Oh, there's no question
We're
about
very
that.
familiar with their work.
Speaking of stupidity, I wanted to get your take on Arizona Governor Doug Ducey's response to Nike by pulling the incentives that were going to be provided Nike to locate a plant in Goodyear, Arizona.
So, as I understand it, I saw something on this story yesterday that he's removing some of these subsidies.
Yes,
yes. He's taking away all the
now the
incentives.
company. What
No
company
tax
is it
breaks.
again?
Nike,
Nike.
over the Colin Kaepernick, rescind your Betty Ross flag shoe. They did, and so now Doug Ducey is rescinding the tax breaks for them to locate in Goodyear, Arizona.
Well, good for Doug Ducey. I mean, I believe in lower taxes. I believe in a stable, in a level playing field. But I don't believe in corporate welfare. I don't believe in giving special goodies to companies that have lobbyists and have the political influence. I mean, that's Illinois politics, and it doesn't work very well. So, good for Doug Ducey. I wish you did more of that in Illinois. And by the way, once you move away, if you ever move away from your flat tax in Illinois, which is what
That'll happen
Governor
in
Pritzker
it'll
wants to
happen
do,
in a year and a
then
half.
it's going to be a lobbying free-for-all. Every company is going to get their own tax rate.
Yeah, right.
Well, but Doug Ducey, the governor of Arizona, I mean, he's hurting his constituents. It's a $185 million plant that was going to be built and was going to employ 500 to 1,000 people. I think it's stupid because they're going to go elsewhere.
You mean now they're saying that they're not going to build it, or?
Well, yeah, there's a possibility it's really good that Nike is going to choose, the Phil Knight is going to choose another location for the plant.
That'll give them tax breaks, of course.
Well, I mean, look, remember, the backbone of American industry and American economy is the small business one, not the major businesses that employ thousands and thousands of workers, the 27 million small businesses that hire 10 or 15 or 20 workers. And why should they have to pay more taxes so that the big guys pay less taxes? I mean, if you think that's fair, I guess, I just don't see the fairness in that. And so I'm with Ducey. No more corporate welfare.
I'm with you and Ducey. He is Steve Moore. Trumponomics is the book. Trumponomics, Inside the America First Plan to Revive Our Economy. Steve, thanks for joining us. We'll watch you with Bart Roma on Friday.
All right. See you guys. Take care.
Take care.
Bye. Oh, we didn't ask him if he was going to go to the Trump parade.
Yeah, he's going to be Yankee Doodle Dandy.
He's going to be on one of those military tanks. And Stephen Moore joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% vine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, make plans now for the Eyes to the Skies Festival at the Lyle Community Park July 4th tomorrow through July 6th. Admission is $10. Kids 8 and under get in for free. So see eyes-to-the-skies.org for free parking, their shuttle service locations, complete balloon launch schedule, and all the information you'll need for an awesome weekend. The Lyle's Eyes to the Sky Festival at the Lyle Community Park, July 4th through July 6th.
We're surrounded by noise, bombarded by information. Messages struggling to get attention. So many ways to reach customers. Your message needs to cut through and stand out. For the resources and know-how to make it all work, there's Salem Surround. Get started with a free evaluation of your digital presence and some great ideas to increase your online visibility and revenue. Learn more at surroundchicago.com. Surroundchicago.com, connecting you with new customers.
Your kids won't be thinking about school very much this summer, but it's the perfect time for you to think about where you'll be sending your child back to school this fall. More and more parents are thinking about private school. Maybe that's you. Well, private school has never been more affordable thanks to halfpriceschools.com, where you can find tuition vouchers for private schools across Chicagoland, available at half of the normal price. No catch. It's easy. Find a school near you, purchase the voucher, prepare to send your child off to school this fall. Halfpriceschools.com has schools located across Chicagoland, including, but not limited to, Trinity Lutheran in Lombard, Faith Evangelical Lutheran in Antioch, Calvin Christian in South Holland, Kingswood Academy in Darien, Westminster Christian in Elgin, Christian Liberty Academy in Arlington Heights, and Covenant Christian in Aurora. So don't delay. Summer won't last forever, and school will be starting again before you know it. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. Many of these vouchers have already sold out, so do not wait. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
It's time for Animal Stories with Uncle Dan and Little Amy.
Dan and Amy, and we talked about the Nathan's Coney Island hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, where you can gain 24 pounds in 10 minutes.
If you're Joey Chestnut, you can, because you got to down like 78 dogs in 10 minutes. But let's talk about dogs of a different sort.
Bulldogs?
Dogs as confidants. Dogs have been considered man's best friend for hundreds of years, but according to a recent survey, they may also be man's best therapist. A survey conducted by the noted research institution WAG ! Which is a mobile dog walking app. Survey more than 2,000 pet owners found that 44% of respondents would rather turn to their dog for emotional support than talk about their feelings with a family member. Is that you? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Bunky is one of those.
Bunky just heard the dog barking noise and she barked. It's okay, baby.
44% of respondents rather turn to their dog for emotional support than talk about their feelings with a family member. Like Bunky. Bunky is listening. Yeah, Bunky is here in session. He's taking your calls, will respond to your problems, provide advice and counsel.
No, I believe that because you know what? They just understand with their eyes and they just let you talk. So if you have a problem, you could what? See?
Understand with their eyes.
They do.
Yeah.
And they listen, and you can lay on them and hug them, and they perform.
That's another psychological term called projecting, but okay. Dogs also appear to be the center of affection for many families as well. 38% of respondents admitting the family dog is the person, quote unquote, they show the most love or attention to in the household.
That is so true.
Yeah, but that's because dogs are attention junkies. Like you always have to pat him on the head. You always have to rub his belly. You don't always have to do that with me.
Well, exactly. But when my kids come home from the weekend or if they're out with their, or from school, they run to the dog like, baby, my dog Bunky, and give him a hug.
Mom, get out of the way. I want to see Bunky.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, oh, and then they give me the old, oh, hey, Mom, how are you? They just love the dog because it's just, there's something about dogs. You know what? Dog spelled backwards is God.
Boy, that's so powerful.
No, it is. There's something to that.
Mm-hmm. Also, majority of pet owners enjoy celebrating their dog's birthday. 88% of respondents say they treat their dog to a special birthday meal or treat. 60% say they usually buy a birthday gift. 25%, 1 in 4 dog owners say they throw an entire birthday party for their dog. Those are the lonely people. Are you all right over there? What?
I'm trying to put her back on the chair.
Okay.
It didn't work. No, we throw a birthday party for Bunky. And Bunky's sister Boca lives a few blocks away, so we have a dual birthday party.
Why am I not surprised that you are among the 1 in 4 who have an entire birthday party for their dog?
I do.
Yeah.
What about Hayek? When's Hayek's birthday?
I don't know.
You don't know when Hayek's birthday is?
We've agreed not to exchange gifts. We don't celebrate our birthdays.
You don't know? Really?
'Cause
you know what month Hayek was? What year? How old is Hayek?
What year? He's 2 years old. But I got him from a pound, and he was about 6 weeks old. So I don't know. I could just randomly pick a day. But, I'm not going to do that.
I know when Bunky was born, November 10th.
Of what year?
2016.
She looks great for 3.
No, she...
Or 2.5.
No, that was 2015.
Oh, okay, 3.5.
But I know it was November 10th. Okay.
All right. Dog owners should throw birthday parties for their dogs who don't know what year their dog was born. That's a smaller percentage of the survey respondents. By the way, for your next birthday gift, I got it for your dog. For those of you who do this, this is actually a gift for you.
More so than for your dog.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do this, even though it's a little, I don't know. Maybe it's a little cheese ball, but I think it's cool. This website, cuddleclones.com.
Yeah.
Cuddleclones.com. You send them a picture of your dog.
Yeah.
They make a head cover for your golf club, for your driver out of it. Look at how good this is. Look at that.
Oh, I want one.
My friend's wife got this for his birthday.
Yes.
And it's the spitting image dog. It's awesome. So I'm actually going to do this. Cuddleclones.com.
Let me see.
Yeah, check it out.
You got to get one for Hayek.
If you don't mind, I'll talk to George in Libertyville while you're looking at that.
Can you imagine how cute a Bunky head cover would be?
Hey, Dan, you know what we have for our dogs in our kitchen? We have a picture of Venezuela on the refrigerator because if they don't behave, that's where they're headed. They're going to be a meal.
Oh, my God.
That's good. See, that gets a response. Thanks for the call,
Did you
George.
see the bulldog one? That is going to be
Yeah, but that's
me.
a good-looking bulldog. It's not that
is-
anthropological regression, that evolutionary mistake. No, I'm just kidding, Bunky.
Bunky's cute.
Yeah.
She hasn't needed eye surgery.
Isn't that a great gift, though?
That is the best gift
I'm telling
ever.
you, if for the golfer in your life and the golfer/pet owner, and basically that's the Venn diagram is a perfect circle. The cuddleclones.com. Check it out. I'm going to do this for myself, for Hayek, so that I can, he can
Well,
always,
can I
always be with me. No, you
help
can't.
you out there and buy it for you?
Oh yeah, sure. You can. Sure. Yeah, of course you can.
Then someone was like, "Where'd you get that?" Oh,
all right.
My partner Amy got it for me.
Well, after we go to the news with Mike Scott here, just give me your credit card information. I'll happily let you do that.
All right, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
A serial bank robber holds up a bank inside the Chicago Board of Trade building. Lightfoot outraged after the Bean is vandalized. A body pulled from the Chicago River has been ID'd as a missing man. Suburban teacher faces sexual assault, child pornography charges involving 2 students. Chicago Police Union makes an unusual demand. Kim Fox be replaced in some cases. Power outages halt service on the Metro Electric and South Shore lines last night. The Bulls sign Archie Diacono. Pirates top the Cubs, White Sox, and Tigers rained out. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
He calls it a black eye on the Navy SEALs. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Eddie Gallagher, the day after he was acquitted of a murder in Iraq.
I feel completely grateful and blessed to have the support that I had this whole time.
Fox's Jeff Manasso is on the case live.
Dave, a military jury found Navy SEAL Chief Eddie Gallagher not guilty of multiple war crimes charges, including the murder of a captured terrorist in 2017, in a case where prosecutors failed on evidence and testimony in which the lead prosecutor was tossed from the case for illegally tracking defense emails.
They tried to frame me as a criminal from the get-go. We knew the truth the whole time. I overcame it by having my strong wife with me the whole time and my legal team.
Gallagher on Fox News. He was found guilty on one minor charge, though cannot be sentenced to more than time already served. Dave.
Jeff, police in California keep searching for the 2 guys who opened fire, shooting at each other in a shopping mall yesterday in San Bruno.
I heard 4 pops. I heard pop, 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 pop. And as that was occurring, I saw countless people running for their lives, yelling, "Get out of the mall, get out of the mall, there's a shooting, there's a shooting."
2 bystanders did get shot. Both are seriously seriously injured. The shooters ran away. A setback for President Trump. A federal judge has ruled illegal immigrants seeking asylum cannot be detained without a bond hearing, and the U.S. Census is going forward without the citizenship question blocked by the Supreme Court. The printing process has begun. They're getting ready on the Washington National Mall for what President Trump calls a salute to America on the 4th of July. He just tweeted it's looking to be really big. The show of a lifetime, including tanks, Fox's Hillary Vaughn was just standing in front of.
They did arrive by flatbread trailer, but they did need a crane to actually get over an overpass because they were too tall to cross under it. They eventually will be rolled up here to the Lincoln Memorial behind me where the president will be speaking. There will also be flyovers.
Flyovers from fighter jets and Air Force One. This is Fox.
Sunshine in Chicago, 70 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. We're watching a flood warning for the Illinois River impacting LaSalle, Bureau, and Putnam counties this morning. Power outages are scattered across northern Illinois from the Quad Cities all the way to northwest Indiana after powerful storms exploded over the area yesterday evening, dropping over 3 inches of rain in Westmont, Clarendon Hills, and Hinsdale. And in other stories we're following this morning, 3 men are in critical condition following a crash on Chicago's southwest side. Police tell us this morning a man was driving early this morning when he ran a red light, hit a viaduct in the 3900 block of Southwestern Avenue. Chicago Police Union demanding a special prosecutor to replace Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx in any case involving officers. The FOP noting that special prosecutors have been appointed to replace Foxx in 2 recent cases. A kindergarten teacher at a private religious school in Burbank is accused of sexually assaulting an underage student and soliciting child pornography from another. Shannon Griffin faces a number of charges, including criminal sexual assault. Mayor Lori Lightfoot outraged, she says, after the Bean in Millennium Park was vandalized.
And I'm going to follow what happens with the prosecution of these individuals very closely. We have to send a clear message. Enough is enough.
The graffiti has since been removed. Major power outage to blame for halting service on the Metro Electric and South Shore lines yesterday afternoon, resulting in hours of delays. Adam Frazier belts a 3-run home run in the Pirates' 5-1 win over the Cubs. Sox and Tigers were rained out. CONCACAF Gold Cup Soccer. Mexico nips Haiti with a goal in extra time. The U.S. faces off against Jamaica later tonight. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, and from the Fox Business Network, a service of Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs. Here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, cybersecurity company Symantec is said to be in talks to be sold to Broadcom. Reports say the two companies are in advanced negotiations. Wedbush analyst Daniel Ives says if a deal is done, it'll value Symantec at $16 to $17 billion. Job cuts in the first half of the year are the most since 2009, says outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas. Companies are cutting positions in retail, industrial manufacturing, and the auto business. A federal judge considering the $80 million award in a case involving Monsanto's Roundup says he'll reduce the amount to $50 million or less. Edwin Hardeman sued, saying the weed killer Roundup caused his cancer. Monsanto maintains its Roundup does not cause cancer. Tesla set records in the recent quarter. Its stock is rallying. It delivered more than 95,000 cars. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 on AM 560. It is time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
That's what this radio show is. I tell you what I think, period.
The Joe Walsh Show.
And then you call in and you tell me what you think. And we don't have to fight with each other. We don't have to hurl insults at each other. We'll agree sometimes. We'll disagree sometimes. Big deal. To me, that makes for the most interesting radio. I'm going to tell you what I think, honestly. And I want you to do the same.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5, right before Larry Elder at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Townstone Financial is synonymous with great rates, low closing costs, and phenomenal service to the thousands who have completed purchases and refinances with us since 2002. Hi, my name is Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. Let's hear from Jim, who just completed a no-cost refinance with Townstone Financial.
We went through the experience with Townstone. The experience was amazing. We had a point person that took control of the refi. The communication was specific and exactly what we needed to do. That I was never in the dark in the process. So I knew when I needed to get documents. I knew exactly what I needed. I would recommend Townstone to anybody, and I do.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110, or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financial is licensed in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. NMLS 136639. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving. Built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
It is 8:08, and to check on the roads, AM 560 traffic center time, here is Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Kennedy traffic is jammed. Irving Park to the Burn Circle, the right lane remains blocked with standing water as workers try to clear that. Still an hour and 18 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, an hour 8 from Montrose, 59 minutes to the Express, outbound 36 minutes to the airport. It's 19 minutes like Cook to the Junction, outbound 25. The Eisenhower is an hour and 2 minutes, 390 to downtown, which is 35 minutes from Manheim, outbound an hour to 390. Stevenson, 51 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lanes on the eastbound Reagan Tollway or Highland to Midwest. Northbound Veterans Memorial from the Boughton Toll to the Reagan Tollway. And northbound 53 Euclid to Rand Road with a reported crash. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Steve Williams.
Some breaks of sun today. Shower and thunderstorm and a high 87. A shower and thunderstorm around this evening. Otherwise cloudy tonight, low 72. Independence Day, partly sunny. Shower and thunderstorm later in the day. Those storms could be slow moving, high 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
71 at O'Hare. Next news at 8:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Representative Ilhan Omar.
One of the Spice Girls.
One of the Socialist Spice Girls. You know her, sure. Some
married
of her
her brother?
Well, she's got
allegedly or something.
A lot of questions surrounding just exactly how she legally, quote unquote, emigrated to this country from Somalia. But okay, we'll put that aside for a second. You remember her from such comments as some people did some things on 9/11, describing the worst terrorist attack on American soil in our history. You remember her from, blaming U.S. bullying for the Marxist-inflicted humanitarian decimation of Venezuela?
A lot of the policies that we have put in place has kind of helped lead the devastation in Venezuela, and we've sort of set the stage for where we are arriving today. This particular bullying and the use of sanctions to eventually intervene and make regime change really does not help the people of countries like Venezuela, and it certainly does not help, and it's not in the interest of the United States.
She's a Maduro apologist.
Wow.
No question about that. She's a Islam maximalist at a conference over Muslim advocacy. She was celebrating her faith.
I remember watching Mr. Khan give his speech, and I remember the occupant of the White House mocking his wife and saying, I don't know if Muslim women are allowed to speak. Little did they know they were going to get the two loudest Muslim women in the country, in Congress with the biggest mic.
Yeah. Okay, it's fine. Celebrate your faith. That's not a problem. But she seems rather taken aback when anybody else would comment on their own. So this next guest comes to us from congressional testimony she provided on the topic of poverty in America, economic realities of struggling families. House Budget Committee had a hearing on this. Ilhan Omar is on that committee. And she didn't receive the comments from Latasha Fields and a couple of others particularly well. The choices that Latasha Fields made, she doesn't believe other women can make. The faith from which some of those choices come, she doesn't subscribe to. And so she was rather dismissive of it. So we wanted to have Latasha Fields on to talk about some of those slights in part, but even more importantly, some of her perspectives on poverty in America, given her experiences and accomplishments. Latasha Fields is a co-founder and overseer of Our Report Ministries and Publications. She's also the founder and teacher of a homeschool academy and, relevant to Illinois, director of Christian Home Educator Support System and state coordinator for Illinois, state coordinator of Illinois for parents, state coordinator for Illinois for parentalrights.org. Parentalrights.org is the website. Latasha Fields, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So, talking about poverty in America, and in that congressional testimony, you talked about where you grew up and that you had become pregnant at the age of 17, and so the choices you had to make at a very early age for your life. And I guess, why don't you share that story and then the reaction you got from Congresswoman Omar?
Yes, thank you. So basically what I was sharing with them is that, growing up, we're originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and that, and as I stated, my mom, of course, was on drugs. Many people in our community were, many members of my family. And so to just become pregnant at 17 years old and have to face those obstacles is nothing short but the grace of God, that when I went into the parenthood clinic, because I was so distraught from becoming pregnant, of course, they gave me the choice to abort my baby. And, literally and seriously, I can literally hear my grandmother, because she taught us to be strong and independent, and I can literally hear her say that when you make your bed hard, you lie in it. And that resonated with me. I wasn't saved then. I grew up Baptist, I grew up in the church, but I had not made the personal choice to make Christ my Savior. But me seeing my grandmother's choices was what resonated with me. And so I took that personal responsibility to say, no, I'm not going to live with that decision to kill my child. I prefer to live with the decision to whatever I have to struggle through, whatever I have to do, that's what we're going to do. And that's the choice I made, to grab hold of personal responsibility. And that's what I've seen with Omar and many that have that same ideology and agenda. They want to dismiss personal responsibility. They want to dismiss working hard and dismiss people being accountable for the choices that they make.
Well, even more.
And I was.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but even more to the point, she said to you, "We don't get to have those kind of conversations." She doesn't even want to have the conversation. She doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, which was very disheartening. And so my thought was, what do you mean we can't have these conversations? This is why we're here, to facilitate these types of conversations. And then secondly to that, you choose not to make your voice resounding so that the masses can hear the type of conversation that will make people accountable for their choices. They prefer to make people feel that they're inferior to make personal choices. They want us to feel like we're always victims to the choices we make, and that's not true. That is not true.
Yeah. What did she say that offended you, Representative Omar?
Her whole answer, of course, but specifically, when she said that, and I quote, people who have experienced poverty, gotten the straps for their bootstraps, sit here and talk about how we shouldn't do anything for the next person. And I was just sitting there saying, no one insinuated that at all, and that's not what I said. I made it very clear that even though I received government assistance for 2 years, I received food stamps, I received WIC, I didn't come there to dissolve. I did not come there to say we should not help our people. That was the complete opposite. I was there as one to say, I will always and continue to be a voice for my people. I will always and continue to be a voice for the poor and to bring a resounding voice that we do not have to accept government entitlements, because, again, that is not the way out of poverty. Yes, everyone needs help. I would always stand with that. Everyone needs help, but the help should not be perpetual. It should not be this state of dependency. If you're going to help, let's help. And so it goes back to the proverb that everybody knows, what are we going to do? We're going to keep feeding people, give them the fish, or we're going to teach them how? And that's the voice that needs to be resonated in our society, that we need to literally teach people how to come out of poverty. And then another thing, if I can say this, what I heard also, that there is a complete contrast between the poor and poverty. And I was hearing that they were interchanging those words. Those are completely two different terms and two different ways of living. The Bible says that the poor will always be among us. It's not a sin to be poor, okay? But the sin comes in poverty, and we have a part of our government that their hand has been heavily in terms of it creating poverty for people, and yet the people are accountable to those choices as well. So those are two separate issues that I think we need to continually to make clear. Poor and poverty, two different issues.
Well, right, and it seems to me what Omar was saying, which is sort of cut and paste of the left. I mean, she's not, particularly deep on these issues. She's basically saying, like, I don't like what you're having to say because you're not looking to government for the solution. This private action stuff, through ministry, through private schooling, through community organizing for a specific purpose, that those little platoons of democracy, well, they're not into that. They want you to come there and say, we need more money funneled through federal anti-poverty programs. And if you're not on that script, then they don't want to hear from you.
Exactly. That's exactly what I received that she was saying. And unfortunately, so many from the left, that's what they're saying. Because, my personal position on this, I just believe in what Representative Omar stated, it keeps them in power. It keeps them in that seat. It's such a ripping away and a destabilizing of communities and people. And so to speak what we're saying today and what many say, that for real, it is about personal responsibility. It is about working hard. That removes that power from them.
Well,
so we as a people have to wake up and realize that.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's continue to have the conversation that Omar didn't want to have with you. We do. So these the ministry that you founded, the homeschool academy that you founded, tell us about those experiences, lessons learned, things that can be scaled and applied elsewhere.
Yeah, so my husband and I, we homeschooled our daughter first. The Lord pressed upon our hearts to pull her out of the public school. And at that time, we were not having any problems with public education that we were aware of. We were the typical parents going to work. I was in real estate. My husband was a barber. So for us, it was just the call of God. It was not about the academics. And so we homeschooled her a year first, and then towards the end of her first year being homeschooled, the Lord began to share with us, and we began to see the need for quality education, the need for parents to really get their children out of the public system because of the indoctrination that at that time we didn't really see what we see now. But these things that we're witnessing now was unveiling at that time. Of course, further than that. And so for us, we began to advocate, that parents should consider giving their children a Christian and quality education. And so we opened up our homeschool academy in Louisiana in 2007. And so we began to see that as God pressed upon our heart, that this was an extension of our evangelistic work. And again, for us, it was not about the 2+2. It was not about academics. And a lot of people think that way, but for us, it was not about that. It was literally for discipleship, family values, Christian values, and literally a way to restore and repair the foundations of family. Because me being a teenager and my husband, he also has the same testimony growing up, with parents on drugs, and we both grew up in the same type of environment. We began to learn and challenge that and having a heart to want to reverse that curse and reverse that plague, that no, we are better than this, and we can prevail. We can do better than this. We can teach our children that promiscuous behavior is not the answer. Having a baby as a teenager is not cute. It's not fun. It's not the answer. That keeping Christ first and getting an education is the key to out of poverty. And that's the values that we bring to the table, that family is the key. Your faith in Christ and family is the key to poverty. And it hurts us so deeply to see that you have so many that's supposed to be in the faith, that's supposed to be leaders and representatives of us, and they yet won't bring that voice. They won't bring that to the table because they know that's what it is. And so those are the things. And so as we continue to grow and build the school, the Lord pressed upon my husband's heart that he's going to send us to Chicago. So we've been in Chicago for 7.5 years now. And so everything that we were doing in Louisiana, we're doing it here. And so we moved here on faith. We didn't know a soul in Chicago, Louisiana, but we knew that God was telling us for years, actually 6 years prior, that he was going to send us to this great city to do a great work, to continue the work of evangelism. And that's what we've done. And so we moved here. We hit the ground running, meeting people, having events in the libraries and different things like that to bring that same voice, to be the repairer of the breach. Because what we see that the gospel speaks about is family. That's what God told Abraham. In thee, all families and nations of the earth are going to be blessed. So we receive that if we can get people to see how much God loves family and that we can restore that, we can see the blessings of God. And homeschool is just a part of it. This is a part of it. That's our personal testimony, and many have it. It's a part of it. That's an opportunity where you can embed and weave the tapestry of your family together. You can avoid your children being exposed to all these social indoctrination, all these perverse indoctrinations that children should not be even open to. We should be preserving their innocence. So those are the values that we see have came out of the choice and the decisions that we've made with our ministries, with our homeschool organization.
Wow.
And that's what we have to say.
Well, I'll tell you what, God couldn't have picked a more difficult mission field in this country for you and your family, but it sounds like you picked the right family. I got to tell you that she is Latasha Fields, co-founder and overseer of Our Report Ministries and Publications, founder of Homeschool Academy, director of Christian Home Educator Support System, state coordinator of Illinois for parentalrights.org. And as you mentioned, she's here on the ground in Chicago. Latasha Fields, thanks so much for joining us. Really a pleasure. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, God bless. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk. Think about what would happen if you were gone. Would they struggle to pay the bills and face an uncertain future? They don't have to. You can help guarantee those you love $200,000, $500,000, $750,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct. We'll help you get more for your money, up to 70% more. For a free quote, call 1-800-900-1303. Just look, you could get $250,000 of term life coverage for as little as $14 a month. It's no wonder millions of people rely on AIG companies. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation. Make the future more secure for those you love. Call now so you can sleep better at night. For a free quote, call 1-800-900-1303. That's 1-800-900-1303. 1-800-900-1303.
Well, our technical producer, Justin Kosick, bought his mom a MyPillow for her birthday. He took advantage of the best deal ever offered on radio or TV. For a limited time, you can get a 2-pack of premium MyPillows for only $69.98. That's only $34.99 a pillow. Again, it is the lowest price ever offered in the history of MyPillow. And if you've procrastinated, don't wait any longer. Go to MyPillow.com. You'll also get 30% off those pet beds that Bunky loves. Those mattress toppers are great. And my favorite, the Giza cotton sheets that come in all different colors and sizes. So act now to get this brand new, absolutely lowest price ever offered of 2 premium MyPillows for only $69.98. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, or call 800-489-0201. Either method, use the promo code Amy.
Want a good laugh? Watch those funny insurance ads on TV. You know, the ones the other guys spend billions of dollars on each year. Want seriously good auto, home, business, or life insurance? Come to the Kevin S. Doherty Insurance Agency, an independent Erie insurance agent serving the Chicagoland area. You'll get a great price that saves you money, unbelievable service, and advice from people you can trust. So talk to us at the Kevin S. Doherty Insurance Agency today. Call 630-575-0800. That's 630-575-0800. Or go to insurewithkevin.com. We can help you get where you need to be, where you should be, quickly and easily. Go ahead, laugh at those cave people, stunt guys, and bubbly cashiers. Then see for yourself why more than 90% of Erie customers stay with Erie year after year after year.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I've been on it for a few years. I had not severe Lyme disease, but it would show up on blood tests, and I would go to my infectious doctor once a year, and he told me the last 2 years, you don't have to come anymore. It doesn't even show up. And he said to me, I know you're going to say it's from Balance of Nature, and it is. I don't think there's anything, and I've studied nutrition for a long time, that this product is so superior. It's in a class by itself. I can't say enough about it. I just love it.
From now until July 4th, receive a 30% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Also receive an extra $10 off any additional set of fruits and veggies you purchase. This offer will expire, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Real quick, AM 560 and MyPillow want to give you $1,000 in cash just for listening today to AM 560. All you need to enter to win today's $1,000 is the daily keyword, and today's keyword is bed. So go to 560theanswer.com/cash and enter that keyword bed, and you'll be entered to win $1,000 in cash, courtesy of AM 560 and our good friends over there at MyPillow. And don't forget to visit MyPillow.com. Use promo code Amy, or I guess here, use promo code AM560. That's MyPillow.com. Promo code AM560.
We got to get this in. Representative Dan Crenshaw, Republican from Texas, co-freshman with AOC, was on with Martha McCallum responding to AOC's histrionics and over-the-top assertions against Customs and Border Patrol yesterday. Listen to what Crenshaw has to say about his colleague.
It's sad to see. She's getting bolder with her lies on this. And this is what's actually happening. And this is what the American people need to understand. People like AOC are operating off of a false premise. And it's deliberately designed to misinform the American people for her own political ends, right? Remember, first there was no crisis at all. Okay? Then it was a manufactured crisis. Then it was a crisis completely created by Trump. Then there were concentration camps. Then people are Nazis. Now she's saying that Border Patrol agents harassed her and forced migrants to drink out of toilets. This is insanity. This is not true. There's no one else corroborating these kind of reports, and yet she's using it to try and make her case that we shouldn't have any enforcement and that we should have open borders. This is really dishonest behavior from a member of Congress, and I honestly can't believe it.
It's
well said.
Yeah, a succinct description of AOC's last 6 months or so on the topic and what the end game is. One of the few members of Congress who speaks with moral clarity on these matters, Dan Crenshaw.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
How free speech dies online. We know how it dies on the streets of Portland. You get beaten over the head by a bunch of thugs. We're going to talk to Daniel Friedman, who's a contributor to Quillette, the same outlet that Andy No contributes to at 8:38.
But first, let's head back into the newsroom. News here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 73 right now. Flood warnings up on the Illinois River at LaSalle, impacting Bureau, LaSalle, and Putnam counties. Power outages scattered across the northern part of the state after powerful storms exploded over the area yesterday evening, bringing flooding to Westmont, Clarendon Hills, and Hinsdale. An investigation is being ordered after reports surfaced of racist and sexist posts by Border Patrol agents in a Facebook group. Acting DHS Secretary Kevin McAleenan tweeted he's ordered an immediate investigation. A Navy SEAL accused of war crimes has been found not guilty. Edward Gallagher was accused of killing a captured ISIS fighter and firing on civilians in Iraq. Prosecutors said Gallagher stabbed a teen fighter to death. During his trial, another sailor claimed on the witness stand it was he who killed the fighter. Former Chrysler chairman Lee Iacocca has died. His family confirmed the news. The automaker died at the age of 94 after a battle with Parkinson's disease. Iacocca is best known for saving Chrysler after it filed for bankruptcy in the 1980s and for helping create the Ford Mustang. This morning, firefighters are battling a massive blaze at a Jim Beam distillery in Kentucky. Fire started at midnight and has spread from one warehouse to another at the distillery in Woodford County, about an hour east of Louisville. Local media reports say crews have just put out that fire in one warehouse where 45,000 barrels of bourbon were stored. Fire in another warehouse just as large is still burning. An airstrike at a detention center for migrants near the Libyan capital early this morning killed 44, wounding more than 130 in that nation's civil war. 3 men are in critical condition following a crash on Chicago's southwest side. It happened overnight in the 3900 block of Southwestern Avenue. Kane County State's Attorney Joe McAleenan is not running for re-election in 2020, offering no explanation yesterday after announcing he was not seeking a third term. And Dan and Amy told you about that Taco Bell Southern California hotel experiment. Well, it seems to be pretty popular. The taco chain running that pop-up hotel for about a week. Again next month in Palm Springs. Reservations sold out in 2 minutes when they went on sale. Rooms feature Taco Bell decor, room service menus filled with Taco Bell favorites, and a pop-up hotel filled with apparently Taco Bell fans. Chicago sports, Pirates over the Cubs, 5-1. Sox and Tigers rained out a guaranteed rate. Offseason continues for the Bulls. They agree to terms with guard Ryan Arcidiacono, a 3-year, $9 million deal nonetheless, and a commitment from Luke Cornett as well. CONCACAF Gold Cup soccer. Mexico nips Haiti with a goal in extra time. The U.S. will face off against Jamaica tonight at 7:30. Arcidiacono, I knew I'd get it right. Sherwin-Williams brings us this newscast. Ask Sherwin-Williams, June 21st through July 28th. Save 30% on paints and stains with sale prices starting at $26.94. Only at your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store, where retail sales only. Please see store for some details. Exclusions apply. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is astonished by Joe Biden.
Can you fathom how desperate you have to be as a presidential candidate who sees your front-running status kind of evaporating. It's like sand through his fingers. And he literally said, when I'm president, we'll cure cancer.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. If you get the feeling your deposits don't matter to your bank, then maybe you're not with the right bank. At Signature Bank, your deposits matter to us as much as your business loans. Signature provides unmatched banking expertise, custom financial solutions, and the industry's best technology to closely held Chicagoland businesses. Whether your business is looking for a deposit relationship or needs a ready source for financing, Signature Bank is the right bank for you. Call us today to see how Signature Bank can help your business grow and thrive.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and I've got a quick, cost-effective way to protect and grow the value of your home this summer. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters for interior and exterior painting. They painted the first floor of my home last year, and every time someone walks in, they always say, gosh, your house looks so much bigger. That's because one of their color specialists helped me pick out the perfect color. So boost your curb appeal this summer with a fresh coat of paint while protecting it from the heat, storms, and insects. Be proud to show off your house to your friends and neighbors. Their summer calendar has a few spots available, so secure yours now. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
8:37. Let's get an update on the roads now. AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim.
Inbound Kennedy traffic has improved a great deal after some high water receded from the area around the Burns Circle. Delays start at Irving Park. It's 47 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 37 from Montrose, 35 on the Express. Outbound 30 minutes downtown to the airport. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 30, crash at Glenview Road in the left lane. The Eisenhower's 55 minutes, 390 to downtown, 36 from Manheim. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95 to downtown. Traffic on the southbound Tri-State is tight. Duffy to Deerfield. Northbound Cicero to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. There's a delay on northbound 53 from Northwest Highway to Rand Road with a crash. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Clouds have broken for sun this morning, warm and humid throughout the day, with a shower or thunderstorm possible later this afternoon and a high of 87. 73 right now. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. And lawyer representing Andy No, he is the journalist we've talked about the last couple of days who is beaten on the streets of Portland, where he lives, for the crime of covering the Antifa thugs who have essentially taken over Portland, or are at least allowed to roam around the streets, direct traffic, and beat people up without consequence.
You said that the police let them direct traffic?
Yeah, this is several months ago. But yeah, there was video of them directing traffic, like they've taken control of the streets.
And the way they dress, they look like SWAT team members. Seriously, I couldn't tell the difference between a police officer and an Antifa.
The telling comment in Andy No's statement about what happened to him, particularly I'm thinking of his interview with Tucker Carlson, he's a passive guy, never been in a fight, said, I was not presenting like I was ready to fight. I wasn't ready to fight, but they saw that as a sign of weakness and they pounced, which is so indicative of the thug, right? I see somebody weak who I can overpower, so that's what I'm going to do. And if he essentially retreats, then that's provocative to me. That's how despicable these people are. And I'll tell you how this is going to end, by the way. We mentioned sort of in passing. On the streets of Chicago or somewhere else, they're going to run into the wrong guy. It's going to be the scene from Gran Torino.
Oh, right.
Did you ever run into
lawn.
a guy that you shouldn't have messed with? Yeah, that's me. And somebody comes at somebody with nunchucks, and somebody responds with a bullet.
Yeah.
That's how this is going to go, because in
If you bring
places
a
like
crowbar to a protest, something's going to happen. Too.
and in places like Portland, when you have law enforcement abdicate, that's how it's going to go. This is serious business, and Andy Ngo should be applauded for being a pacifist, number one, being a good journalist, number two, and not backing down intellectually in the face of thuggery. His attorney, a gentleman named Harmeet Dillon, tweeted out, "Good night, everyone except Antifa criminals who I plan to sue into oblivion and then sow salt into their yoga studios and avocado toast stands until nothing grows there, not even the glimmer of a violent criminal conspiracy aided by the effete impotence of a cowed city government." Okay, well, that's a statement. By the way, I would not limit my litigation to Antifa.
I'd sue the police department for sitting on their hands.
The city of Portland is
Or
the
city
deep
of Portland,
pockets.
right.
And you want to set a precedent, you bring the city into the action. So I hope Mr. Dillon does precisely that, which leads us to a conversation more generally about big tech, online media, where a lot of what you saw on the streets of Portland metastasizes and then translates into action on the streets. For that discussion, the need for new rules, and I'm not going to go into my impersonation of Dua Lipa.
Oh, okay.
I won't do
Are
that.
you sure? Come on.
No.
What if I beg you, please?
New rules for social media. We're pleased to be joined by Daniel Friedman, who was a contributor to Quillette.com, where Andy Ngo is also a contributor. He's also the Edgar Award-nominated author of Don't Ever Get Old, Don't Ever Look Back, and Riot Most Uncouth. Daniel Friedman, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi.
So the premise of your piece is to go through some of what has become of big tech and the issues that have arisen with the conduct of those who are in control of the big social media platforms, and to suggest some new rules that need to be instituted with respect to social media, more consistent with the freedom-oriented values of Western civilizations like America. So give us a bit of perspective and with some specificity on what you think those new rules should be.
Well, they're under a lot of pressure, or they feel like they are, because they are social media. So social media pressure feels like real pressure. So I don't think that there's really a huge constituency that's looking to change the rules of social media, but there's a very enthusiastic and they seem influential on the platform's constituency that's pushing for that. So a few weeks ago, there was a guy who has a web show with Vox. His name is Carlos Maza.
Oh, yeah.
And the comedian Steven Crowder, who's a conservative comedian, has been just making fun of him. And, I mean, the things he's called him are not nice things. They're, like rude stuff. He's sort of a shock jock. And Maza was calling for YouTube to intervene. And YouTube conducted an investigation and found that even though these were not nice things he was saying, that didn't contravene their policies, which harassment, as YouTube had conceived it, was really more toward criminal harassment rather than this schoolyard stuff. And that makes sense. These are both adults. And when somebody's calling you names and you are a grown adult, you don't necessarily need to go running to tell the teacher to look for a remedy to that. You can either ignore somebody calling you names, or you can engage it on your own terms. But you don't need an authority figure regulating that conduct necessarily. And that was sort of YouTube's view. People who are annoying you, people who are insulting you, that's one thing. It's another thing when people are harassing you or trying to direct violence your way. But that's not really what they found Crowder was doing. And when YouTube did not ban him after this outcry, there was a lot of backlash against them, and so they have implemented a new hate speech policy.
And what are the existing rules then?
Well, so they've been making new rules at all the platforms, and they don't really work together because they couldn't under antitrust laws. So it's sort of been happening piecemeal, where maybe one platform will institute a policy, and then there will be pressure on the others to implement similar policies. Last year, Twitter, Apple, and YouTube, and I think Facebook banned Alex Jones. And then Twitter said that they wouldn't. And then there was a backlash against Twitter, and Twitter said, well, he hasn't violated any of our policies. And then, according to Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, he went on a podcast tour. And I think, I want to say this was on Joe Rogan that he said this. What happened was people started combing up and down Alex Jones's whole Twitter history to find something that would violate Twitter's rules. And then they did. And then they banned him a couple of days later.
Yeah, I get that. Right. So they target particular people who have been leveled up for targeting, and then they work to fit their rules to the conclusion that they want to draw, like banning somebody or shadow banning somebody in the case of Twitter. But what are you suggesting should be sort of the way forward, and how do we get there?
I think free speech is always a good principle. I don't support regulation of these platforms by any government. They get to make their own rules. But because they are where so much of our political discourse takes place, I hope that they feel a social responsibility to support a robust discourse and to protect unpopular opinions on their forums. Free speech has a very strong philosophical tradition behind it. There are reasons why you want to protect speech, and especially political speech. And the speech that needs to be protected is unpopular speech. And this is not a conservative or liberal principle. Every ideological persuasion has found, times in history when its speech was unpopular and it needed these protections. And it wasn't very long ago at all that it was liberal or progressive speech that was potentially subject to regulation and needed the protection of free speech rights.
So your argument is normative. It's not legal. You're saying this is what these social media platforms should do. They should be the public square and allow for speech consistent with First Amendment protections. But you're not calling on the government to sort of demand they behave like, the government.
No, I'm pretty skeptical of regulation and government control of private enterprise.
Interestingly, too, this is a fun paragraph from your piece at Quillette, How Free Speech Dies Online is, again, the title of the piece. And it kind of reminds me of Martin Short, his Jiminy Glick character, when he interviewed Mel Brooks. And he says, so what's your... what did he say? What's your hang up with the Nazis or something like that? Was how he opened. It was hilarious. But you write, I'm Jewish, so I'm not a big fan of Nazis, but I'm also pretty skeptical of progressive activists because when they can't find a Nazi to punch, they often settle for punching Jews. Where are you going with that setup?
All right. So I strongly believe that the best protection against anti-Semitism is always individual rights. I don't think that it's good for historically victimized groups to look for special protections. When people talk about marginalized groups, what it means to be marginalized is power is used against you. So what you want is curbs on power rather than power exerted ostensibly for your benefit, because that's always a double-edged sword that gets turned around on you. So when I look at stuff like Antifa beating people up in the streets, I mean, they're ostensibly anti-racist, but gangs of people marauding through the streets beating people up have historically never been good for the Jews. So,
right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned in your piece too about
Finish your thought, please.
Well, so it's such an easy jump for them to say we're against white supremacy, and there have been numerous incidents where people have made a very similar argument to this. Someone says, what's white supremacy? Or white supremacy? Zionism.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've gone from punch a Nazi to punch a Jew in like 2 steps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in your piece, you showcase, when the Nazis marched in Skokie in 1978.
Yeah, and, it was a huge controversy, and the ACLU at the time was very cognizant of what were, in that period, right-wing attempts to censor more progressive speech, to censor art and expression that was considered obscene at the time. This is a culture war that happened a few decades ago and people seem to have forgotten, where, particularly those campaigning for civil rights, campaigning for gay rights, were threatened with censorship and needed the protection of free speech. And so at that time, the ACLU was very absolutist in protecting that for everyone, because if there's any, break in that armor, then it's going to completely fall apart. It's a very slippery slope once you permit any regulation of speech. So the ACLU came out and successfully defended the Nazis. They said, they wanted to march in Skokie, Illinois, which at the time had the highest concentration of concentration camp survivors, of any place outside of Israel. Mm-hmm. So this was a very offensive place for neo-Nazis to march, which is why they picked it. And, a lot of people obviously didn't want them to march, but the ACLU, and the lawyer was a Jewish guy, stood up for free speech. They said, there's not a danger here that justifies impinging on these fundamental principles. And then when the Nazis finally had their march, it lasted 10 minutes and there were less than 20 of them.
It's, the argument that you make is the argument that Brandeis made in his holding in Whitney v. California in 1927, where he said, if there be time to expose through discussion the falsehood and fallacies to avert the evil by the process of education, the remedy to be applied is more speech, not enforced silence. And you say, well, so there you go, just refer to Brandeis. But I think the point that you're making through your work product is that argument needs to be made generation after generation after generation. And frankly, there are just fewer people making that argument today, and almost nobody on the left making that argument.
Unfortunately, historical memory seems to be pretty short. And it seems like activists just don't remember that a generation ago, within living memory, people on their side really needed these protections. And then the other thing is, when you drive this stuff back into the shadows, there's nobody really confronting it. Holocaust denial is illegal in Germany and in several other countries. But, once people stand up and, you have the information out there and you don't act like it's such a dangerous idea, then it's full of holes and,
it dies under its own weight.
It is pretty evident.
Right, exactly.
But if it's treated as forbidden knowledge and it's shared in secret, then, it's a lot easier for people to be persuaded and indoctrinated when all these exchanges are happening sort of below everyone's radar. I let these people come out in the open, share their bad ideas, and be embarrassed.
Daniel Friedman is the Edgar Award-nominated author of Don't Ever Get Old, Don't Ever Look Back, and Riot Most Uncouth. His piece at Quillette.com, How Free Speech Dies Online. Daniel, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
If you only go to one festival this summer, this is the one you and your family can't miss. Make plans to be at one of Chicagoland's favorite festivals, Eyes to the Skies, July 4th through the 6th at Lyle Community Park. The Eyes to the Skies Festival has been entertaining folks for over 30 years with morning and evening balloon launches, balloon glows, nightly fireworks, and live music on 2 stages. Plus, there's a carnival with rides, craft fair, a huge kids area, and over 50 unique food vendors. Ever wondered what riding in a hot air balloon feels like, but are a bit nervous? Try a tethered balloon ride and take some stunning pictures from this incredible view. Make plans now for the Eyes to the Skies Festival at Lyle Community Park, July 4th through the 6th. Admission is just $10 with kids under 8 free. See eyes-to-the-skies.org for free parking and shuttle service locations, complete balloon launch schedule, and all the info you'll need for an awesome weekend. The Eyes to the Skies Festival at Lyle Community Park, July 4th through the 6th. Don't miss it.
The recent rainstorms are keeping our Permaseal team very busy, making the